hard off those two pitches. The sinker, opponents are hitting 313. The cutter, they're actually hitting just under 400. So he has been given
the mound this afternoon for the Milwaukee Brewers, brought to you by the Morgan Automotive.
He's gone out there 27 2/3 innings pitch, only 18 punch-outs. So he tries to get weak contact. That's his game. We'll see if the Rays can go out there and connect with some barrels today and put up some early numbers.
We're set to go on a Wednesday afternoon, Rays and the Brewers. Last game between these two clubs in this series, and of course this year, since you only play one set against all but your local rival in terms of interleague play.
Man, what a day, Neil. It is gorgeous out here.
Picture perfect weather, crowd still filing in. Yandy Diaz in the box, hoping to get May started on the right note. Here's the first pitch from Colin Ray. And it's taken up and in, but a called strike at the upper edge of the strike zone, and it's 0-1.
Good day for a Hooters watch party.
I would say so, and hopefully some folks are headed out there to see Chris Adams-Wall and company. 0-1 to Yandy. That's taken outside with a cutter, and it's 1-1. And fastball, cutter are the two pitches that Ray will use the most, and he lives off weak contact. He doesn't get a lot of swing and miss, as Doug mentioned. He'll work to the edges, try and get guys to chase. And the pitch is off the plate and low for a ball, and it's 2-1.
And not a lot of swing and miss. And actually, you look at the expected average against him so far this year, that's 312, which means that, you know, the regular batting average against him is a lot lower.
2-1 is low, and it's 3-1.
But what it tells me is he's giving a lot of hard contact up, and, you know, batters are just getting unlucky. Balls just aren't falling in right now. But if he continues to give this hard contact up, I think those numbers will sway toward the offense.
Outfield swung toward right, infield straight away. 3-1 to Yandy. Swinging a ball, fought off foul to the right out of play, 3-2, and that has been an issue all year. That's a 3-1 middle fastball that Yandy didn't get to.
Yeah, you know, it just seems like he's underneath a lot. And it's funny because with a guy like that, his launch angle is pretty low. And so typically he's going to be missing on top of it.
As a hit off the end of the bat towards second on one hop to Terang, he throws to first, gets Yandy on a 3-2 pitch, and there's one out here in the first, and let's set the defense for Milwaukee.
Left to right in the outfield, Trevor Bowers, Blake Perkins, center fielder, Sal Frelick over in right field. And then third to first on the infield, Oliver Dunn, your third baseman, Willie Dom, shortstop, Bryce Terang making that play at second base, Tyler Black, the rookie, over at first base, and then William Contreras, the all-star catcher.
There's Richie Palacios, who homered in a Cardinal uniform off the right-hander, and Colin Ray throws outside for a ball. Ray also not a really high first pitch strike percentage for the year. He's in the 50s, and again, when you're doing well, you're usually high 60s, 70s as the pitch. Up and in, and a ball to Palacios, the Rays' most patient hitter, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're diving into like his secondary numbers and the analytics. Ray shouldn't have really good stat line, but he does, right? 2-0 and 5 starts with a 3.25.
As a ball popped up foul, straight back below us, and the count now is 2-1. Good move.
That was ours.
You didn't protect your laptop at all.
No, I was going to jump over and I was going to catch the ball this time, Nielsen.
After yesterday, you hid when you saw the fight start.
Man, I thought that was us. That was our chance.
2-1 is pulled foul on the ground behind first, and it's 2-2.
You didn't even blink.
No, it wasn't coming close. There's 4 or 5 rows at least.
Right,
I thought your heart was racing last night when the fight started. I saw you go into that other booth, and fortunately they had. You didn't go after Bobby Euchre, you went after the other guys.
No, that's right. Euchre could have taken me, man. The grip strength on that guy when we shook his hand. Holy cow.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Palacios. 1 out in the Rays first, just underway. Ray deals, and that's up and in, and there's a second straight full count. So the Rays are working the count early. Now, can they get results? They're really looking to establish an offensive identity after obviously having a terrific year offensively last year. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a ball lined over third, a base hit in the left field for Richie Palacios, and that is the first hit of the game for Tampa Bay. And a reminder, every hit is a win with Suncoast. We donate $90 for every Rays hit to local nonprofits. Get the monthly winnings.
Richie's so impressive to me for a few reasons. I mean, he's come up and, you know, he's seen a lot of these guys for the first time, but you see what he's hitting off the fastball, right? First of all, his patience for a very young guy, but he's hitting 286 off the fastball. And that was a sinker right there, able to drive it to the other side. Just a great approach.
Randy Arozarena hoping to improve his approach. He takes a fastball strike, 0-1. Randy Again, finished his worst month ever, 11 for 98, and is down to 143 with 3 homers, 9 batted in. Center fielder today because, again, Siri not available to start. The pitch. Check swing. It's in there for a called strike, a breaking ball that probably was a baseball off the plate, and it's 0-2. And that might force Randy to have to expand here with 2 strikes.
And he's already pressing right now, and gets into these pitchers' counts, and he ends up swinging at pitches that he typically wouldn't want to.
0-2, and the pitch is high. The throw to first is not in time, and it's now 1-2 on Arozarena. Palacios with 3 steals so far this year. The Rays, one of the top stolen base teams in the American League, but they're 0 for 4 in the 2 games with William Contreras catching a 3rd straight behind the dish. Throw to first, and diving back safely is Palacios.
I think it's going to be interesting how it's going to play out today and how aggressive the Rays are going to want to be on the bases, just based off of Contreras and what he's already done this series.
You got to get the right pitch for sure. Palacios goes. The ball is lifted in the air towards center. In is Perkins. He's on the run, and the right fielder cuts in front. Frelick to make the catch. The throw back to first is not in time. And there's 2 gone here in the Rays' first inning.
Well, Arozarena getting himself into a bad count, finds himself down 0-2, and then really anything coming close he's going to have to swing at. That pitch was, borderline, but nothing he could really do. He has to take a hack at it, and forcing fastball is just softly hit to the right field.
Well, they have announced suspensions, by the way, in yesterday's incident between these 2 teams. We'll get to it as we go. Just handed to us as Amed Rosario stands in. Takes outside a ball, 1-0. And I would imagine that the Rays, Jose Siri, is going to appeal. He got a 3-game suspension when I thought he was not the instigator in this.
They have to appeal that.
As the pitch is in there, a strike, and the count now 1-1.
Listen, he definitely was not the instigator. And secondly, when somebody else throws a punch at you, you almost go into self-defense mode, don't you?
Well, Abner Uribe got a 6-game suspension, but he's a reliever. As a throw to first, not in time. Again, 1-1 the count on Rosario. 2-out scoreless game in the first. Freddie Peralta, who was the starter that hit Sirian was thrown out, got a 5-game suspension, which means, heck, you could work around that and still not have him miss a start. The pitch is outside a ball, and it's 2-1. The manager, Pat Murphy, got a 2-game suspension and an undisclosed fine. Now, he can't appeal. The managers can't appeal, so I guess he's serving one of those today.
I didn't know that. I did not know they cannot appeal.
Yeah, players can appeal. Managers cannot. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Off speed, and Rosario, who got off to such a great start, is now in a 3 for 23 stretch at the plate. 2 home runs, 13 batted in, hitting .307.
Well, it's a super aggressive approach. And not a lot of swing and miss, which means that if he's going after pitches that aren't in the heart of the plate, he can create some weak contact because he's going to make contact.
2-2 with 2 out. Palacios goes. It swung on and missed, strike 3. Throw to second, goes into center field. It doesn't matter. The inning comes to a close. Rays get just the 1 hit from Palacios, and they do not score here in the opening inning. Milwaukee coming up on the Rays Baseball Network. pitching preview from Canes Furniture, quality selection value. That's the confidence of Canes. Doug, what do we look for from the Rays' Zach Eflin?
6'6", right-handed 30-year-old going out there. A little bit of an up-and-down year, but he's coming off of 3 straight starts at 6 innings plus, so hopefully going to get some length out of him today. 5-pitch mix, sinker, curveball, and cutter are at the top of that list.
Sal Frelick takes the first pitch for a strike from the left side, and it's 0-1.
That sinker's going to play the most, 38% usage. Right behind that, 21% on the curveball. I think the curveball is still his best swing and miss pitch.
As an 0-1 is a cutter up and in, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Starting to use the sweeper a lot more this year. And really dropped off on the changeup usage. Doesn't use the changeup much at all.
1-1. Chopper the other way towards short. Fielding on the run, Caballero. The throw to first gets the speedy Frelick, and there's 1 down here in the opening inning, and let's set that defense for the Rays today.
Left right in the outfield. Nico Goodrum, left fielder. Randy Rosarena, center fielder. Richie Palacios with the base hit is your right fielder. Third to first on the infield, Curtis Mead, your third baseman. Jose Caballero making that play at short. Ahmed Rosario at second. Austin Shenton at first base. And then Ben Rortvat behind the dish.
1 out, scoreless game first inning for the Iron Man, William Contreras, starting all 3 games behind the plate.
Ooh, the Iron Man.
As the first pitch is in there, a strike, 0-1. Not
3 games in a row get you an Iron Man?
Well, if you're starting a noon game behind the plate.
I mean, Cal Ripken set that bar pretty high, buddy.
1. Low for a ball 1. But he's played every game so far this year, has Contreras, and he's only DH'd 5 times. So that's a lot for even for a young catcher. That's basically 6 days a week he's catching.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't see catchers really play that much anymore.
As a 1-1 is hit high in the air to right center. A Rosarena converging. Who's got it here? Palacios. It's a Rosarena who calls off Palacios right at the front of the track in right center for the second out here in Milwaukee in the home half of the first inning. Ball is known to carry here more when the dome is open, and the Brewers are a very complete offensive team. They're in the top 5 in the majors in homers, steals, and walks drawn. You add that all up, and you're going to score a lot of runs. The pitch is in there, a fastball strike to Willie Adames, who, speaking of homers, has the most of any shortstop in baseball over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, hit a big one yesterday.
His 4th of the year. The pitch, curveball, that's at the knees, a called strike. Adames was bailing out, and it's quickly 0-2. Scoreless game first inning, 2 out, bases empty. Infield to pull, outfield straight away. Eflin winds and fires. It's a breaking ball low, and Adames lays off this one. It's 1-2. His plate discipline has been much better this season. He is going into a contract here. The leader of this Brewers team sits deep in the box. Eflin kicks, and now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a really good running fastball away at 93. And that's an easy 1-2-3 for Eflin. So, scoreless after 1, Rays and Brewers here in Milwaukee in this rubber game of 3 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Club presented by Suncoast Credit Union for only $40. The MVP membership includes a free kids meal at every home game and discounts on tickets. Join today at raysbaseball.com/raysrookies.
Second inning, Austin Shenton to begin the frame against Colin Ray. And he takes a fastball on the inside part for a strike, 0-1. Shenton did not play yesterday. He went 0 for 4 in Game 1 in his third straight start. The pitch. Swinging a ball lofted in the air toward left. In an easy play toward the line, Jake Bowers. One hands it for out number 1.
Can't see it carrying a little bit more, though, with the roof open. It's nice and bright. Not real windy.
I think this ballpark is I don't think it looks as nice when the dome is closed as when it's open.
Right. Yeah, because it's brighter, right? It's a little bit dim when it's closed. Now it's gorgeous today.
Nico Goodrum steps in, open stance for the switch hitter batting left. The pitch taken all the way for a strike, 0-1.
Good day for a bratwurst?
Is there any day for you that's not a good day for a bratwurst? I saw you beating up one of the Milwaukee reporters to get the last one on the
They jumped in front of me.
That's what you told them. Up and in for a ball high, 1-1.
I wanted to sample all the finest meats and cheeses in Milwaukee.
You gave Abner your rebase line? I'll do what I want.
Yeah, really.
1-1 in those types of terms. Here's the pitch. Swinging a slicer down the left field line, foul, and it's 1-2. I thought, it looked like you fighting over that bratwurst was kind of like one of the Anchorman movies in those reporter scenes.
Hey, listen. That escalated quickly.
It did.
And it was good.
And 60% of the time that fight works 100%. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. Swinging a high fly ball to center. Perkins back, still back, now spun around onto the track. Makes the catch on the backhand. Just to the left of the 400 sign. Goodrum gave it a pretty good ride, but again, not enough. And 2 flyouts or 2 outs for the Rays in a scoreless game in the second.
Yeah, struck that pretty well. I mean, he hit it to the deepest part of the park, right in front of the 400 sign in center field.
See if Jose Caballero can connect here. Hitting to the big part of the ballpark, though, or to the opposite field in the air is generally not the way you're going to hit a lot of balls out. The Rays near the bottom right now in terms of homers hit, near the top in homers allowed as a pitch fouled back by Caballero, 0-1.
What Caballero's numbers against the fastball? 17 of his 25 hits coming off the heater.
Well, he's looking fastball. The thing is, he's got to be able to not chase as much on the off-speed stuff because he's only walked once in the first month. 0-1. Swing a little nubber past the mound. Running it down is Ray. He tries to shovel with the glove and can't do it. It's too late. And Caballero has what I think would be an infield hit. That was an off-speed pitch that he hit right off the end. He was way off balance, but may have himself a fortunate hit. If it is, it's the second for the Rays, and it is indeed.
I thought Ray had a little bit more time. Could have actually made that play, but, good hustle by Caballero. Making sure that he's busting it right out of the box, trying to give himself a chance for that infield single.
Ray's back was to the field of play, so he really couldn't get a glimpse as to where Caballero was, and maybe that led to him rushing it. As Ben Rortvedt steps in. Ben, on his mom's birthday, it's Kim's birthday today, and playing in front of his family and friends, hoping to come through. He's looking for his first hit of the set. The pitch taken all the way, fastball strike at 93, 0-1.
We expecting big things for the birthday, for Mom's birthday? What do you think?
I would think so.
I hope so, right?
1 strike to count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Went after a fastball upstairs and didn't get it. And it's 0-2. So he took one in the zone. And he probably chased there out of the zone. Sometimes when you're in front of family and friends, you have a tendency to press a little bit. Rortvedt, even with the 0 for this series, is hitting .340 with 7 RBIs. His numbers among the best in the club in a lot of categories. 0-2. Check swing, didn't offer. Another fastball elevated at 94 in the count 1-2. And then Caballero almost tried a delayed steal and then put on the brakes and went back to first.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with Contreras behind the plate. That was a good take right there by Rortvedt.
1-2 the count. Scoreless game in the second. Caballero edges away. He goes. Pitches foul down the left field line, and it's still 1-2.
So it looks like they're still going to be aggressive. I mean, even though Contreras has gunned down, 4 base runners already this series, that's not going to stop Tampa Bay and the aggressiveness on the base, especially with Caballero. I mean, this guy is one of those that's going to go, and he's going to be super aggressive. Leads the team with 9 steals.
Well, part of that is because the Rays aren't getting extra base hits. So if you steal a base, you have a better chance of scoring. Otherwise, you need probably 3 hits to play to run. Rays bottom 5 in the league in extra base hits. Caballero edging away. All fastballs in this sequence. Ray to Rortvedt, the 1-2. That's a breaking ball down, and it's 2-2. First breaking ball of the sequence.
A couple nice takes from Rortvedt. You know, that's one thing that I've seen him do very well throughout the entire season so far is really not chase too much.
Runner goes. 2-2 is line into right. It's going to drop for a base hit. Caballero makes the turn at second. He will head to third as Frelick plays it in, and the Rays have men at the corners and 2 out. A question there. Caballero almost stopped at second base. There's 2 out in the inning. You're going on contact anyway. Why is he even looking back?
That's a great question. I have no idea, but I will say that Rortvedt, that was a really nice at-bat. Took 2 pitches that were close on the edges of the zone. Then he finds himself getting a fastball inside corner, drops down to a knee, and drives it to the right side. And that's just barreling it up, old school. That's a really nice job right there by Ben.
So a true scoring chance for the Rays in this scoreless game of the second. Curtis Mead takes a breaking ball up and in for a ball 1-0. Curtis's first appearance of the series, a homer and 4 driven in, hitting .228. OPS sub 600 with only a couple of extra base hits. Ray deals right on right. That's a fastball strike taken, and it's 1-1.
It's always interesting to me how narrow Curtis Mead's stance is when he starts.
His feet are so close together, maybe a foot apart. 1-1 of the third baseman today. That's taken bottom of the zone for a strike, and it's 1-2. And this is where the Rays have had a tough time, Doug. They are hitting in the 170s the last 2 weeks with runners in scoring position. 1 run in game 1, 2 runs in game 2. Caballero dances off third, gets the pitcher to step off Ray for a disengagement. That's his first.
Oh, interesting. You can do that a couple times.
Look, earlier in the New York series, I think it was Caballero who forced a balk at third base. You can't step off and throw over there. 1-2. Swing and a foul tip held by Contreras. And Mead and the Rays continue to struggle with men in scoring position. 2 hits, 2 left through 1.5. Scoreless, Rays.
Buddy, if we did, then I apologize. I would love hearing from Chris.
Yes. Well, we should have heard from Chris there. Well, how about we'll do this in the middle of the third inning and we'll call an audible.
All right, I love it. And I want to know Chris's favorite wing sauce.
He'll text that to you as Tyler Black takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, you got to let me know when I'm jumping the gun. I'm so worried about the reads.
I get that.
I got the read in.
You did. As the pitch is taken high for a ball 1-1. We also appreciate all the folks who are at Hooters who are listening in right now. And we hope they're having a good time at the watch party as Zach Eflin delivers. That's taken inside corner. Fastball strike to Tyler Black, 1-2. He had 2 hits yesterday coming off the bench. His dad, they went to him with the sideline reporter as he was at the plate, and he ended up calling his son's first hit. The pitch. Check swing, went too far on a cutter, and the strike 3, and there's 2 Ks now for Eflin. Rod Black actually used to call games in Toronto for about 10 years, so it's not like he's unfamiliar with doing that. He had a storied broadcast career.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was a pretty neat moment.
That is awesome. I love hearing that. I got to check it out. I got to find it. I'm sure it's on social media somewhere.
Hopefully after the game.
Yes. I'll pay attention for now. That's a really cool story, though.
It is. It's the first pitch to Rhys Hoskins. He's in there at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Again, we're scoreless in the second with 1 out and the base is empty. The infield to pull against the DH, who swings and uppercuts at an offering from the Rays. Zach Eflin couldn't get the sinker, and it's 0-2. Hoskins, then Jake Bauers here in the second for Milwaukee. Eflin trying to keep the Brewers in check in this scoreless game. The pitch. That's a cutter up and away. And it's 1-2. Zach's actually been better against lefties so far this year than righties, which is a bit unusual. He was fairly neutral against both last year. 1-2. That's a curveball low and in, and it's 2-2.
I think he just had a couple games that elevated the numbers versus right-handers. Chicago, one of those.
And Martin Maldonado, the number 9 hitter, got him for a big 3-run homer.
Actually, could have got him twice. Luckily, the wind was blowing in.
Wind not blowing now as the 2-2 is rolled in the ground towards short. Charging and fielding is Jose Caballero. Throw to first in time to get Hoskins, and there's 2 down. By the way, I don't know if you noticed it, Doug, yesterday in that brawl, fight, whatever you want to call it, between the 2 teams, Hoskins went to the ground. And this is a guy coming off an ACL injury, and I'm thinking Abner Uribe starts this and really could have seriously injured one of the key guys in the Brewers lineup by starting that.
It was just a dumb move from Uribe. It really was. I mean, it got all out of hand and got ugly because of what he did, and he forced the issue when it didn't need to be forced.
Jake Bauers from the left side, left fielder today, takes outside for a ball.
I mean, guys on his own team should be upset with him, right? Because everybody's in danger when something like that happens.
No doubt. Zach Eflin fires. And a pitch on the inside corner, cutter for a strike. It's 1-1 on Bauers, who's playing left field for the first time this year. Now, he's played that a lot in his career, but primarily first base this year. The pitch. Curveball low, and it's 2-1. Doesn't appear that Zach has his really good curveball going right now. He's having a tough time landing it.
Not yet, but the other pitches are working. Been pretty good rhythm with the sinker and the cutter.
2-1. Cutter on the inside corner for a strike. Actually, it was the sinker, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, he's been dialed in with those 2 pitches specifically, and those are 2 of his better pitches, right? He has been utilizing that sweeper a little bit today.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and a cutter away, and down on strikes goes Bauers, and that is a 1-2-3 second for Eflin. He's fanned 3 and retired all 6. 2 complete. Again, in Milwaukee, scoreless.
He's into the Share the Light Fund, helping our neighbors in need. Learn more at duke-energy.com/Brighten Lives. Backslash Neil Z.
You'll get that right sooner or later, at least before we go back to Tampa Bay, as Yandy Diaz swings and rolls one foul off the plate area. And it's 0-1 on the Rays DH today. Again, Yandy hitless in this series. He's 0 for 6 with a walk and hit by pitch, and he does not have a hit since he got hit by Michael Kopech in Chicago. And I wonder, he's not going to complain about it, but I wonder if that finger is still affecting his grip strength.
Going into that game, he had hit safe in 8 out of the last 10 games. I mean, he was starting to turn the corner, too.
Colin Ray throws a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count 1-1 on Yandy. That is 41 pitches thrown now for Colin Ray as he looks to get the first batter in the third in this scoreless affair. But the Rays have had 3 hits but yet to score. The pitch, that's taken bottom of the zone. Sinker for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, that's a pretty nice pitch by Ray. Not much you can do with that as a right-handed hitter.
Richie Palacios to follow, and then Randy Arozarena in the third. The Rays desperately need Yandy and Randy to get going. Check swing on a fastball upstairs, 2-2. They're still waiting, obviously, to get back some pieces. It seems like Josh Lowe, Johnny DeLuca, Jonathan Aranda could all come back during the homestand, and maybe Brandon Lau as he comes back for an oblique issue. 2-2. Swinging a chopper over the mound toward the middle, flagged down by Adames, and then it scoots through his legs. And Yandy Diaz will be safe at first to start the third inning. Boy, that is a break for the Rays. How often does Willie Adames do that?
Not often. Willie, one of the slickest shortstops out in the league right now, goes up the middle. He fielded that directly behind second base, and just honestly, I think he just pulled up on the ball slightly. Yeah, it's just not something we're accustomed to seeing from Willie Adames.
And Milwaukee's one of the best fielding teams in the league. Can the Rays take advantage? Richie Palacios singled to left his first time. And he swings and grounds it to second. Should be 2. Terang to second, 1. The relay in time for 6-3 double play. My goodness, this seems the way it's gone for the first month and change for the Rays. They just have not taken advantage of what they've been given. That's a gift. And 1 pitch later, and the runners erased.
Yeah, 1 pitch later, and you got to remember, Palacios is one of the better hitters in the lineup at this point in time. He's at least seeing it really well, and he's one of the most patient in the lineup. Goes out there, first pitch, eliminates both base runners, unfortunately for the Rays.
There's Randy Arozarena with 2 out and the base is empty. First one, he squares to bunt, takes a called strike, 0-1. It actually wouldn't be a bad move because the third baseman is way, way back. I mean, you need to send an SOS to get that ball out to Oliver Dunn. And he's still back.
Look, a guy who's slumping, why not drop one down?
Here's the pitch. He takes a breaking ball outside and low, and it's 1-1. I think he should do that. If you can get a base hit every couple days on a bunt, if they're going to give it to you, take it. Get the pitcher back out of the stretch, too. Still back at third is Dunn. Here's a 1-1 to Randy. And he takes in the dirt, a breaking ball, and it's 2-1. You got to take what they give you. The thing I've noticed, Doug, is it seems lately, and maybe this is why they're struggling with runners in scoring position, the moment they get a guy on, they swing at the first or second pitch.
Super
not
aggressive.
Working the count.
Yeah, very, very aggressive. Now, a lot of these guys go up there with an aggressive approach either way.
2-1 is waved out and missed, and it's 2-2, but they seem to have more deep counts when there's nobody on base.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you, and that seems to be the trend, at least early in the season.
2 out, base is empty. Arozarena windmills that bat, puts it on his back shoulder. Again, he's just having a tough time getting the fastballs. They set up away the pitch. That's down and in. And it's full 3-2. Now here's a deep count. I mean, Yandy was 2-2, Randy's 3-2, and then you get a man on base, and it's a first pitch contact. Not that that's the bad pitch. 3-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3, breaking ball below the zone, and Randy and the Rays just continue to struggle in battle offensively. 2.5 complete in Milwaukee. Scoreless Rays and Brewers on the Rays.
Get 50% off pizzas online at papajohns.com or when you use Papa John's mobile app with promo code RACE6. Papa John's, proud sponsor of your Tampa Bay Rays. Man, we never got the flavor, the favorite flavor from Chris Adams.
Maybe he'll text it to you as Zach Eflin delivers. Oliver Dunn swings and misses, and it's 0-1 on the lefty.
You got a favorite wing sauce?
Not necessarily.
You seem like a medium. Just a medium, nothing crazy. Nothing too hot.
Well, wings aren't wings. Well, I still don't believe that boneless wings are wings.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in that.
I like them as a pitch outside a ball, but I guess my definition of wings, they have to have bones.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of the most underrated dishes at Hooters. How about the shrimp, buffalo shrimp?
That's your favorite?
Oh.
Ball fouled off to the left, and it's 1-2.
I could eat like 20 of them, no problem, and then get into the wings.
That would be after you finish the brats here in Milwaukee.
Yes, that is exactly right.
1-2 coming from Eflin from the full line. Inside with a cutter, and it's 2-2. Again, scoreless game in the third. Rays have had runners on base each half inning so far, yet they have not scored. They have not had an extra base hit. The Brewers can do plenty of that. The pitch, that's taken just outside by Turang, Turang chokes up on the bat and the count full. It's Turang, Dunn, and Perkins in this inning, and Turang can fly if he gets on. 3-2 from Eflin. Swinging a hard hit ball through the middle, base hit center field. Rosarena over to cut it off to his left, spins around, plays it in, and Turang was 14 of 14 trying to steal, is aboard with the first hit from Milwaukee.
Yeah, and you got to think he's going to be aggressive on the base paths. One of the things that the Brewers do really well is run. Finds himself in a 3-2 count because he had a couple nice takes on cutters, and now Eflin throws him a sinking fastball, caught a little bit too much plate, and boy, Turang's been a pretty big weapon for Milwaukee this entire season.
So here's Oliver Dunn. Let's see if the Brewers try and run. They have run recklessly against the Rays because Tampa Bay has not thrown out runners as the pitch is just outside a ball. To Dunn, who struck out as a pinch hitter, is only at bat of the series. He's hitting 200 with a homer and 5 driven in. Rays have allowed 35 stolen bases in 42 attempts. The pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Now, Eflin is probably one of the better Rays at holding runners. And obviously in this spot, he needs to be able to vary things up, change his times, keep the opposition off balance. Quentin Berry coaches first from Milwaukee. He was a great base stealer in the big leagues. 1-1. Inside, nice backhand by Rortvedt keeps Turang at first in this scoreless game in the third.
Yeah, really nice. Right there, that was just a yank fastball, and actually it was a cutter. Yank cutter, and Rortvedt setting up on the outside corner. That was back foot to the left-hander.
Berry coaching first, Jason Lane coaching third. Third baseman in slightly me to step on the grass. 2-1 to Dunn with the infield otherwise to pull. Pitch, swinging a ground ball through the hole into right, a base hit. Turang makes the turn at second. He's going to stop there as it's played in by Palacios. And that's back-to-back hits by lefties against Eflin to open up the third inning. And all of a sudden, the Brewers are in business.
Yeah, back-to-back hits, and that was a changeup. Changeup catching too much plate. And Dunn at the bottom of the order in the 8-hole now has gotten, back-to-back hits. You're getting into a little bit of an issue here. Trying to figure out how to work through this because you're going to have the top of the order coming back around after Perkins gets up.
And the problem is it's hard contact. Even though it's on the ground, 105, 103 against Eflin, who relies heavily on softer contact, and he could use a double play ground ball here. Blake Perkins, as you mentioned, steps in from the left side. He squares and bunts in the air foul to the netting. Straight back, and it's 0-1.
Well, we've seen the Brewers do that a few times, or at least attempt small ball a few times. Even though they're good with the power numbers, good with the average numbers, they're still willing to go out there and drop a bunt down when they need to.
Corner infielders pinch in a little bit. The Brewers are 14-3 when they score first, which is why they're playing maybe for the first run. Perkins squares again and takes a called strike. It's 0-2. He didn't like the call. He thought the pitch was a little high, but that looked like he got the box.
Yeah, it looked like it to me. I mean, that's going to be a tough pitch to bunt, though. The pitch up in the zone. The four-seam up in the zone is always the hardest one to bunt.
So now Perkins calls for time with the count 2 strikes, 2 on, none out. Third inning, scoreless game, Rays and Brewers.
It's funny. As a pitcher, you go in there thinking, oh, well, maybe I throw an off-speed pitch down in the zone and try to get him to foul off the bunt. Well, that makes it easier on them. You want something at the top of the zone.
0-2. That's in the dirt, breaking ball, and it's 1-2. And that's the pitch right now that I think Zach Eflin really needs. We told you the first couple innings he didn't quite have that. It's been mostly fastballs and cutters, and velocity-wise, that means there's not quite the same separation that you got to look for as a hitter. Another lefty on deck, and Sal Frelick. The stretch, 1-2. That's taken just inside with the fastball. A couple baseballs off, it's 2-2.
Yeah, good 92-mile-an-hour fastball inside corner. Did just miss. Not a bad spot, though. Now you got the count evened up. Be interesting if he wants to go to a secondary pitch right here.
Way over toward the hole is Ahmed Rosario, the second baseman. 2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. There's his good breaking ball. And down on strikes goes the number 9 hitter Perkins. So an unproductive first out. And it's K number 4 for Eflin. One gone in the third in a scoreless game.
That's a really good job by Zach Eflin. Gets to a 2-2 count, though, throws a backdoor breaking pitch. And, boy, these are so hard to go out there and deliver because you got to be pinpoint.
Sal Frelick now steps to the plate. Frelick grounded to short his first time up. He's a speedy guy, so he's going to be tough to double up. Brewers as a team have hit into just 17 double plays so far. Frelick, one of those. Here's the pitch. He squares and takes outside a breaking ball, 1-0. And I don't think he's bunting there to sacrifice. He's either trying to, A, get into the head of the pitcher and perhaps force him to maybe rush his delivery a little bit, or draw an infielder in where he can slap it by him. Eflin fires. 1-0 is lifted in the air towards center, kind of a hollow sound. Arozarena in and under it. He makes the catch, and the runner's back to first and second. So from first and second, none out, to first and second, 2 out in this scoreless game in the third.
Yeah, really good job here. Back-to-back hitters by Zach Eflin getting the punch out, then that easy fly ball to the center fielder. And, not having the base runners move up 90 feet on either of those batters is big. So now you have a chance right here. You are going against the best hitter in the lineup, but you can get out of this jam.
William Contreras with a fly out to center his first time, hitting .342, even with the flyout. 23 RBIs to lead the team, 5 homers for the all-star catcher. Here's the pitch. Right on right. It's a good breaking ball for a strike, 0-1.
Yes, found that breaking ball. Sometimes you just don't have that breaking ball early, and then you get the release point after a couple innings, and you get it dialed in, and that's what we're seeing from Eflin. He's got that sinker, cutter, breaking ball sequence working.
0-1 with 2 on and 2 out. The pitch. Swinging a line drive over third. It's a base hit into the left field corner, and this will give Milwaukee the lead. Scoring from second base is Turang. Here comes Dunn. Here comes the relay. It's late. Contreras comes through again. A 2-run double gives him a team best 25 batted in. Milwaukee strikes first and leads 2-0 in the third.
Well, we were talking about Contreras being the best hitter in the lineup, and he showed it right there. That was a fastball inside corner and just absolutely turns on it, 91 miles an hour. It was on the edge. It wasn't a terrible pitch, maybe a little bit more elevated than Zach Eflin would want. But, look, Contreras is so good. Anything that he's looking for, he's going to be able to barrel it up, and that's what he did.
Here's Willie Adames with the Brewers, all 3 of their hits together in this inning. Swing and a miss by Adames, who fanned his first time. You look at the box, and that pitch actually, Doug, was off the plate. So Contreras turned on a ball and made it count. He's just been incredible.
He has been. It's so impressive. And seeing him live, offensively and defensively, it's an impressive player they got here in Milwaukee.
Next pitch is lined into center, but right out of Rosarena. 2 steps back now, reaches up to make the grab, and the inning is over. But thanks to the 2-out, 2-run double by William Contreras, the Brewers lead 2-0 over Tampa Bay after 3 on the Rays Baseball Network.
And it's gone! Home run!
Saturday home game as they wear their City Connect jerseys, learning about the story and purchase tickets at raysbaseball.com/cityconnect.
Rays are down 2-0 as we start the fourth inning. By the way, not a surprise. According to Mark Topkin, who tweeted this earlier, Jose Siri is appealing his 3-game suspension. And
as he should be.
Hope it gets reduced to 2 or 1. As Ahmed Rosario starts the fourth inning for the Rays against Colin Ray. Rays have had runners on base every inning, didn't score. Brewers finally got runners in the third and did. And the first pitch is a strike, 0-1, breaking ball from Ray. Strikeout his first time up for Rosario, who we mentioned is in a bit of a funk. 3 for his last 24. And you can say that about a lot of Rays. They're just looks like they're having one big game a week offensively. As a pitch grounded over the mound towards second. Terang on the run, behind second, throws to first and gets Rosario. And there's one gone. And it seems like all contact is either soft or on the ground, or at least the majority of it.
Yeah, not getting a lot of lift in the lineup. You're not getting a lot of power numbers in the lineup, and it's been frustrating. It really has for the offense so far here in 2024. And, I think the frustration can also be built up on some of these losses. They're not just losses with, while they're playing good baseball. There are some ugly losses mixed in.
As a pitch in there, a strike to Austin Shenton, 0-1. And look, the Rays are missing a lot of guys. I think we all know that. But the guys who are here, I think Kevin Cash has also said, the key players have not played as well as you would have hoped. The pitch. It's in there, a breaking ball strike to Shenton, and it's 0-2. It's been the perfect storm. I mean, you're talking about 4 players out of your lineup that you expected, and probably your top 3 players in your lineup are not performing.
All right. Injuries are always going to play a part, and every season you're going to have to dance around some injuries, but the Rays have had to deal with a lot of them this year and slumping players. You're just hoping.
Pitches high, a ball, and it's 1-2.
You're just hoping the slump is coming early, and then you can get past it, and everybody moves together as a team out of this slump. And, it's something that happened last year. We just started out hot last year, but later in the year, they did falter a little bit. I mean, this is something that teams go through. As
a pitch outside, a ball, and it's 2-2. The Rays were 8-16 in July, but they had already built so much equity up that I think it made it easier to overcome. When you start a season this way, sometimes it's a little harder mentally when you are expecting a lot. 2-2 with 1 out in the fourth. That's up and away, and Shenton, who flied to left his first time, is now full against Colin Ray. Again, Tampa Bay down by a 2-0 score. Outfield the other way against Shenton, whose first homer came on this trip in Chicago. The Washington State native playing first base today, wiggles the bat, and Ray ready. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Up and away, ball 4. There's the first walk the Rays have drawn in the last 2 days. And that'll give them the tying run at the plate at Nico Goodrum.
No, good job right there. Shenton going out there, just drawing the walk. Forcing Ray to work a little bit. So far, Ray has been able to get ahead of a lot of guys, 11 for 14 on first pitch strikes, but now issuing his first walk, and Contreras wants to go have a chat with him.
Well, I think part of this is the reason for the high first pitch strike percentage is the Rays aren't scaring a lot of guys out of the strike zone. Because they're not hitting a lot for power, you can feel comfortable attacking a group like that.
Yeah, you can fill it up early and try to feast on weak contact. And they are swinging early. You're getting a lot of aggressive approaches from the Tampa Bay Rays, creating a lot of quick outs. Saw it in Freddie Peralta.
Nico Goodrum with the hardest contact of the day, a fly out to center his first time. Weighs in and takes on the outside edge. Boy, that looked like a ball. It's 0-1. That might have been a couple baseballs off the plate. First one that I think plate umpire Alex McKay has missed.
Getaway day zone, is that what you're saying?
No, just a mistake. They're all human. 0-1. Check swing on a changeup. No appeal needed. And the count is now even at 1-1 on Goodrum, who's playing left field today. Again, Jose Siri, a little bit of a tight thigh after getting hit there yesterday. Not in the lineup, and then appealing a 3-game suspension that came down from Major League Baseball today. The pitch, up and away. Fastball, and it's 2-1. If you missed the others, Pat Murphy, the Brewers manager, can't be thrown out today. He was thrown out the first 2 games. He's serving the first of a 2-game suspension. Abner Uribe, the reliever, got 6 games, and Freddie Peralta, the starting pitcher who was tossed, got 5. 2-1. That's on the outside edge for a strike. A cutter at the bottom of the zone, and it's 2-2.
Last time up, Nico Goodrum put a good charge into a ball dead center field. Let's see if he can barrel something up here on this even count.
Outfield playing the other way against him now. 2-2. That's in there, called strike 3. A fastball, and he took it right at the bottom of the zone. Almost looked like he was looking for something soft away, and he was caught off guard.
Yeah, he was definitely guessing, and he was not guessing the fastball. That was a fastball down and in, nicely located, but hittable pitch.
Here's Jose Caballero, who had an infield hit his first time. Rays again, base runners every inning, but only one runner beyond first against Ray. The pitch. Swinging a broken back ground ball off the glove of the pitcher, Ray. He picks it up, fields, and throws. Not in time. And Caballero has hit 2 balls about 120 feet combined, and he's got 2 infield hits now.
I don't even know if that one got to the mound. I mean, this is interesting the way Ray goes after it. He throws the pitch and almost does a complete spin move and backhand to the weakly grounded ball back to him. Can't corral it. Then by the time he gets it over to the first baseman, it's too late.
Well, now it's up to Ben Rortvedt again in his homecoming on his mom's birthday. He got his first hit of the series his last time up, a soft liner into right. 3 doubles, 7 batted in, now hitting .353, and boy, could the Rays use a hit with a man in scoring position right now. Left-hand batter, slightly open stance. Colin Ray peaks at second, and now the pitch. That's high, and a throw to second by Contreras is high as well. Not in time, and it's 1-0.
Boy, Contreras loves going back door on these base runners. He goes out there and the backdoor picks to first base specifically, but right there we see one to second base. He's not afraid to throw down at any point in time in the game.
Keeping Shenton close with the infield to pull. Shortstop Adames almost behind second. 1-0. That's taken all the way, a cutter strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Ray's starting to look pretty comfortable with that cut fastball, putting it where he wants to. Dialed in with that release point right now, pitching off the four-seamer and the cutter predominantly.
1-1. That's taken outside corner with a cutter. Right on the edge, and it's 1-2. Now you got to look for that, and that's what Nico Goodrum was looking for when he got caught with a fastball in. See what they do here. 1-2, 2 on, 2 out, and the pitch coming. That's taken away, and it's 2-2. Went back to that cutter. Missed a couple of baseballs off, and McKay wouldn't give this one.
Yeah, no, that was a good eye right there by Rortvedt. Remember last at bat, Rortvedt took a couple close pitches, got himself into a good count, and was able to drive that ball to right.
Rays desperately need a run, down 2-0 in the fourth. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ball, sliced foul to the left out of play, and it's still 2-2. And Tampa Bay off tomorrow, looking for their first series win in 2 weeks. Last series they won was that weekend home set against the Giants. They split with the Angels, lost to the Yankees, fell to the Tigers, the White Sox, and now trying to beat the Brewers. Again a 2-2 from Colin Ray. The righty fires. That's at the knees, called strike 3 with a cutter. Rortvedt doesn't like it, but that was a strike. The Rays are down yet again, and again they leave a couple more on base. So we're through 3.5. 2-0 Brewers on the Rays Baseball Network.
During the home game, go to any Cane's Furniture store within 5 days and receive a Tijuana Flats coupon. Visit canestrikeout.com.
Tyler Black to start the fourth inning for Milwaukee. Zach Eflin fires and rolls it foul toward first into the dugout, and the count 0-1. Let's pause for station identification on the Rays Baseball Network. Alongside Doug Wechter with Andy Freed on the television side for this road trip, I'm Neil Solondz. 0-1 from Zach Eflin is a check swing. On appeal, it's strike two, says third base umpire Chris Guccione, the crew chief, and it's 0-2.
Big fans of Guccione around here.
Yeah, he was, again, the plate umpire during the brawl yesterday, and fans didn't like his decisions. 0-2 from Eflin. It's taken a little high, and it's 1-2. Derek Dubose back in our network studios. Mark Hayes, our engineer here in the booth in Milwaukee. Chris Adams-Wall with Becca Carney and our whole Rays radio crew at Hooters 4th Street in St. Petersburg for a watch party. As a little jam shot hit toward third, and it's caught right in the shortstop position by Curtis Mead. And there's one gone here in the home fourth as Black got jammed a little bit there. Wish the news were better. The Rays do trail 2-0 on a double by William Contreras last inning. Now Zach Eflin just trying to battle and keep his team in striking distance.
You said Milwaukee 14-3 when they score first. So you're saying there's a chance, Neil?
There is, as Rhys Hoskins takes in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1.
We just need to throw up a couple zeros right here.
Certainly one here would help. As Hoskins waits on Eflin, who fires. Breaking ball low and in for a ball 1-1.
I think that's the pitch that if he can get dialed in and Zach Eflin, that'll get him through the rest of the game. You know, the sinker, the cutter have been there. He's been putting it where he wants to, but if he can dial in that nice breaking ball, that's his best pitch, I think.
Swing and a miss and a good cutter in the count 1-2. We mentioned Hoskins coming off an ACL injury, and he went down in the fight yesterday. It wasn't the first incident that the Brewers have had. They had that little tete-a-tete with the Mets earlier this season as a pitch low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, so they've got a little feistiness in them.
A little chippy. You know, obviously Hoskins, I think he fell. He wasn't jumping or lunging at anybody. I think he just fell. Coming off of an injury, that's pretty scary if you're the front office for the Milwaukee Brewers.
2-2. Ground ball foul behind third. It's still 2-2, especially if you're caught in the middle of a pile.
Yeah.
Where anything can happen. How many balls were you in as a player?
You know, I would say the bench is cleared at least 3 times a year. Actual fisticuffs, like guys throwing punches, maybe one or two.
2-2 is lifted in the air in a shallow left. It's going to drop along the line for a base hit. Hoskins will make the turn, head to second. Goodrum's throw is not in time. Rosario couldn't quite get the tag down quick enough on the foot, and it's a soft double into shallow left off the bat of Hoskins. We had a developing story there. Hoskins still does not run that well coming off the ACL injury, but boy, he just looped that into the perfect spot on a curveball that just kind of hung in the middle of the plate thigh high.
Yeah, breaking ball, it was a little bit up from where Eflin wanted it, and Hoskins, stretching for the double. And you're right, Rosario not able to get that tag down on time, but I think it's more Nico Goodrum just wasn't positioned close to that ball. And when the ball was hit, I mean, he had to go a pretty far distance to go get to it, allowing Hoskins to get up to second base.
Well, with the Rays struggling to score, I wouldn't say it's imperative, but it's quite important for Eflin to prevent a run here. Jake Bowers swings and fouls one to the left out of play, 0-1. Well, for a time, it looked like Jake was going to be the Rays' first baseman of the future. But they traded him in the Yandy Diaz deal, and certainly that's turned out well for the Rays. He's bounced around a lot since. Now, with Milwaukee, reunited with Willy Adames. 0-1. That's inside with a cutter. It's 1-1.
Yeah, he and Willie, man, when they were coming up, that's all we heard about.
Dynamic duo.
Big power numbers. He had a great haircut, too. Like a high fade, you know what I mean? Great big league lettuce.
You're still wearing that as a 1-1.
Trying to.
It's upstairs and inside, a ball 2-1.
I got a lot of product in the hair today. Show hair.
You don't need product when you don't have hair. That's my motto. Or not. You're
saving money,
yes.
Neil.
Don't need product. Don't need a lot on haircuts either. 2-0 Rays trail in the fourth. The pitch. Swinging a bouncer foul toward the screen, and it's 2-2. Seeing a lot more deep counts against Eflin after he breezed through the first 2 innings. Third inning, again, a couple of hits, a 2-run double followed with 2 out by Contreras, and now a 1-out double by Hoskins in the 4th. Bauer's much tougher with runners on base since joining Milwaukee. 2-2. Breaking ball low, and it's full.
Well, he's been going to that breaking ball backside to the lefties, so he's essentially having Rortvedt set up outside corner and trying to dot the corner with the breaking ball. He's got a couple strikeouts on it, but not as consistent as we've seen him before.
And as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, not really using a changeup against lefties. He did last year. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him with a cutter away, and Bauer's down on strikes for the second time today, and that's an all-important second out in the 4th, as Hoskins still at second.
I like that sequence to a left-hander. You show him a breaking ball down, so it's a big breaking ball, slow pitch to develop, and then you go behind it with a cutter where, Jake Bauers, no doubt, thought that was a fastball and it was going to be a fastball off the plate. Instead, it cuts the last second, get the frozen strike 3.
Here's Bryce Terang, singled and scored last inning. And he bunts toward the third base side. Rortvedt pounces, fires, and in time. That's a terrific play by Ben Rortvedt, just outside the batter's circle on the third base side. Play goes 2-3 that ends a Milwaukee rally and keeps the Rays within a couple. 2-0 Brewers after 4. This is the Rays Baseball Network.
Spring is finally here, and there's so many things to enjoy with the
Get your tickets today at RaysBaseball.com.
5th inning, 9-1-2 coming up for the Rays against Colin Ray. Struck out Curtis Mead his first time. The pitch, swing and a foul off the plate, and it's 0-1. Curtis had a chance to give the Rays the first run, but he fanned with 2 on and 2 out. Rays have 9-1-2 coming up, hoping they can get something going. They've just scored 3 runs in these 3 games, and the Brewers not a great team pitching-wise. The pitch is outside a ball, and it's 1-1. You talk to their folks. I think they're especially worried as the season wears on because they're without Brandon Woodruff for shoulder injury for the year, and now Wade Miley with Tommy John. Pitches inside corner, a strike, 1-2. Colin Ray has never been a guy who stayed healthy for full years at a time.
Well, and look, you look at the stats. We talked about it earlier. You look at the secondary stats. He's been barreled up a lot this year. He goes out there, and this is a guy who has an 11% barrel rate. Just to put that in terms of what Major League average is, Major League average is around 6.9, so almost double the barrel rate. That's how hard he's been getting hit.
Breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 2-2 on Meade to start the 5th in a 2-0 game. Brewers in front.
So he's giving up a ton of hard contact. He's not getting a lot of strikeouts, but he's got decent numbers.
Joe Ross is a guy who's had a lot of injuries. He's in the rotation. So there's not a lot of guys they can rely on for the full season is the pitch. Swinging a high, towering fly ball Straightaway center field. Perkins will drift back, but he's got a lot of room. Shy of the track, he makes the catch, and it's just a pretty fly ball out for the number 9 hitter Meade, and there's one gone here in the Rays' 5th inning.
What makes a pretty fly ball? That's what I want to know.
Probably about an 8-second hang time with
that is. It floated, didn't it? It just hung in that pretty sky.
And you knew it wasn't going anywhere either.
Yeah, you did, unfortunately.
Perkins barely moved.
Yeah.
And not to admire it as Yandy Diaz steps in and just lifts the ball weakly toward right. Shy of the track, now onto the track a step or two is Frelick, and there's 2 down. And the contact for Yandy just doesn't sound hard off the bat.
No, it's not square, and I think you're on to something. Whether he's going to admit it or not, I think getting hit in the hand has changed him a little bit because he was turning the corner. You know, going into that series against Chicago, he had been looking a lot better, squaring up baseballs. And I remember the last home game against Detroit, I saw 3 hard-hit balls all over 100 miles an hour, and that was the Yandy Diaz that, we've been accustomed to seeing.
As Richie Palacios swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Richie is singled and grounded into a double play that came after Yandy reached on an error. Yandy, again, has not had a hit since getting hit on the finger, and he's not going, Randy's not going. Siri, who homered yesterday, really hasn't been going. As a swing and a miss at a changeup, and it's 0-2, and you add that to all the guys missing, and, well, it's hard to get an offense going. The Rays are averaging about 3 runs a game the last 2 weeks, and hence they've dropped about 2 out of every 3 games during that stretch. 2 outs and 2 strikes, and guess what? Colin Ray cruising at 80 pitches in the 5th. Here comes number 80 as he tries for a 1-2-3 inning. That's a breaking ball down and in, and it's 1-2, and hasn't had a 1-2-3 in this game. He faced the minimum in the 3rd. Allowed a hit in the 1st, 2 hits in the 2nd, and a walk and a hit in the 4th. No runners beyond 2nd but for 1. 1-2 on Palacios. The pitch coming. The right fielder takes low and away for a ball. Again, Rays will come home. They'll take on the 2 New York teams and the Chicago White Sox once again. They'll face the Mets this weekend, of course, the City Connect jerseys, then the White Sox to start the week, and then the Yankees next weekend. Next pitch is high, and it's gone from 0-2 to full on Richie Palacios with 2 gone here in the Rays' 5th inning.
It's hard for me to pick out one thing that I like most about those City Connects because they're so great, and I think they pretty much nailed every part of it. But I love that Sky Ray logo.
As the next pitch up and in, and Palacios has his team-leading 14th walk. Well, I would think that the merchandise, and you can get it at thebayrepublic.com, is going to go extremely well over not only now, but from here on. The Rays will wear the jerseys all games this weekend, and then every Saturday home game, plus a couple on the road, too.
And it's not just all the Rays folks that are being biased saying that we have one of the better City Connects. It is nationwide.
Well, the Brewers folks have told us how much they love it. As Randy Arozarena steps in. Now he is the tying run. The runner goes. The pitch is a ball. Throw to second is a one-hopper, but not in time. And for the first time in this series, the Rays, right near the top of the American League in stolen bases, have a steal. And Richie Palacios, with his 4th, is in scoring position with 2 out.
Yep, in scoring position. Randy Arozarena away. 1 hit away from at least cutting the deficit in half.
But can Randy come up with a hit? He's struggled in this series. He's struggled for over a month. He's 0 for 9 in this set with a flyout and strikeout today. Here's the pitch. Taken inside corner for a strike. And it's 1-1. Just not that. And when it's not going well, that seems to happen. A guy hits the exact bottom of the zone in the wrong spot as bullpen activity goes for Milwaukee. The pitch inside, almost hit him.
So
with a fastball, 2-1.
If I'm seeing Randy and I'm seeing him struggle on timing, specifically off velocity, I'm not throwing a lot of breaking balls unless I'm off the plate with him. What I am going to do is I'm going to pound him inside corner until he shows me he can get to that pitch.
2-1. Swinging a ball lifted in the air toward right center with not a lot behind it. Frelick is under it. He makes the catch, and the Rays, again, without a hit with a man in scoring position, they're 0 for 3. They get a walk. Stolen base, leave a man at second. We're middle 5. We'll hear from Chris Adams-Wall in a little bit. Again, 2-0 Milwaukee on the Rays Baseball Network.
The 50-50 charity raffle for the next Rays home game against the Mets is open. Take advantage of early bird pricing and get 2-for-1 tickets before first pitch. Play now to get your best odds at raysbaseball.com/5050.
All right, it's up to Zach Eflin. And thanks to Chris for that, to try and keep this game right where it is. The Rays are down 2-0. Oliver Dunn singled and scored in the third inning. And he takes a little bit low from Eflin, and it's 1-1. The Brewers have a lot of, I would say, firepower in their bullpen. 1-1 coming. Swing and a miss. It looked like a changeup in the count 1-2.
I think it was a changeup. That's one of the first changeups I've seen today. And that pitch was pretty good for him last year. Threw it about 10% of the time to lefties a season ago, and opponents only hit 167 off of it last year.
Breaking ball to the outside corner, called strike 3, and down on strikes done. So Eflin starts the fifth with a strikeout with the Rays down 2-0.
Nice sequencing right there. You get ahead with the changeups and then go backdoor curveball like we were talking about. If you can land that, it's such a hard pitch for a left-hander to actually pull the trigger on because it looks like a fastball that's way out of the zone, then it just breaks last minute.
That'll bring up Blake Perkins with Sal Frelick at the top to follow. That's a pitch at the bottom of the zone for a strike, 0-1. Perkins struck out his first time. Again, 2-0 Brewers on a 2-out, 2-run double in the third by William Contreras. Ground ball pulled right to second. Easy play, Ahmed Rosario. Shovels to first, and there's quickly 2 down here in the fifth. Pat Murphy, we told you, he's serving the suspension, first of 2 games for last night's brawl. So in essence, he's out of 4 games. He got thrown out in game 1, thrown out in game 2. He's suspended for today, and he'll be suspended for the next game as well. He's a little bit of a prankster, too. He's got kind of goofy nicknames for a lot of guys in his team. He had a lot of fun with Sal Frelick when he was the associate manager last year as he deals low for a ball, and it's 1-0. Frelick was in one of his, I think, first big league camps, and he didn't know Pat Murphy. And in spring training, he had him fooled for about a week as the pitch. Ground ball chop past the mound to short, handled by Caballero, unloads quickly and able to get the speedy Frelick, who thought that Pat Murphy was the video guy for about a week in spring training. Down in order are the Brewers here in the 5th inning. We are still at a 2-0 game. Milwaukee in front after 5 on the Rays base.
Proud home of the Rays, playing your glorious white sand escape at visitspc.com.
6th inning, and the Rays hoping to get something going against Colin Ray. Now, again, they've had runners on base every single inning so far against the righty, but they haven't converted. Ahmed Rosario to start it off. The Rays are down 2-0. Brian Hudson warming up for a 2nd straight inning for Milwaukee, a big lefty. Threw a couple scoreless innings in game 1. Here's the pitch. Rosario taking all the way. It's a strike, 0-1.
They have some big guys down in that bullpen. He's 6'8", isn't he? Hudson?
And they have guys with firepower, too. I mean, it seems like more than half the guys threw 96 and up. 0-1. Swinging a ground ball past the mound, sharply hit, but right at Adames. Maybe a step to his left. Throws low and not handled at first by Travis Black. For Willie Adames, that's his second error of the game. And the Rays have the tying run coming to the plate, down 2-0. Here in the 6th inning. Now, the Brewers could now go to the lefty in Hudson with Austin Shenton due up. Adames, by the way, has tripled his error total in one day. Now, Black is not known as a good defender, and he was not able to pick that at first. It was a pickable ball as Shenton takes a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, I will say in the major leagues, a lot of times you see that ball picked. But either way, Willie Adames, it just took an extra second, split second, and for some reason it didn't look smooth. Just threw the ball low.
The pitch. That's taken, a called strike, and Shenton takes 2 strikes. He's flied out and walked today. The Rays, it's the second time they've had an error to lead off an inning by Adames. The next batter on the next pitch, Richie Palacios, the first time hit into a 4.63. This time, down in the count is Shenton. Colin Ray still locating. He's now up over 90 pitches. This will be his 92nd. 1 on, none out, and the 0-2 to Shenton. Swinging a little nubber. Weakly hit toward the mound. Ray has it, as only plays it first, and it's in time to get Shenton as Rosario up to second base.
Well, just weak contact created from Ray, and that's what he's hoping to get. And again, he doesn't go out there and strike out a ton of guys, even though he does have 5 punch-outs on the day, but was able to get Shenton to just roll one right back to him. And honestly, luckily, it wasn't hit hard, or it would have been a double play ball.
Nico Goodrum has struck out looking and flied to center. He's got the only ball hit better than 100 miles an hour by a Ray today. They just not made good contact. Swings and fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-1. And again, that's a fastball at 92 that got a lot of the plate, and the Rays are just late to fastballs as a group. 0-1 the count. Again, trailing 2-0 and held to just 3 runs in these 3 games. Pitching has been good enough today. Here's the next one. Is swung on and missed. Threw him a sinker, and it's 0-2.
And another sinker that was pretty well located, down and away from Nico Goodrum.
Jose Caballero with a couple of infield hits is waiting on deck. Rays are 0 for 3 with men in scoring position. Next one. Swinging a ground ball pulled wide of first. Black has it. He waits for the pitcher. The throw is in time as they get Goodrum by a step as the play goes 3-1. And there's now 2 gone in the inning, and crossing over to third base is Rosario. So there should have been a 1-2-3 inning, and that'll bring up Caballero, who has 2 infield hits so far. Neither of them have been hit hard, and William Contreras, the catcher, who's driven in the 2 runs, goes out to have a word. We mentioned the Rays are struggling with men in scoring position. Heck, in this series, they are now 1 out of 14. It's just hard to win games when you're just not getting hits with men on base.
Very hard when you can't come up with the big hit. Now, right here, Caballero, Ray needs to be somewhat careful with the first pitch, because Caballero loves swinging early, and he's very aggressive on the fastball. That's one of the pitches that, of course, Ray has been throwing today that's been very effective, the sinker and the 4-seam.
2 for 2, but again, 2 very soft infield singles for Caballero, who has 2 homers and 12 driven in. He is the tying run in this 2-0 game. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, weakly hit foul to a third. That was a sinker in on the hands, and it's 0-1, and that might have been a ball.
That might have been a ball, but of course, you know, Caballero is very, very aggressive. We have talked about that. What's he got? 1 walk on the year? 1 walk on the year. Between Rosario, Caballero, and Ramirez, the walk rates are very, very low.
And hitters or pitchers are taking advantage as a ball slapped foul to the netting, and it's quickly 0-2.
And that pitch was out of the zone, away. That was a little cutter, it looked like, or a little breaking ball off the plate. But again, with the aggressive nature of Caballero, he's trying to look to put almost everything in play.
Count control matters. 1-1 to 0-2. It's a vast difference for hitters. He wiggles the bat, does the Rays shortstop. 2-strike pitch, up high. And it's 1-2. Again, Rosario leading off third base with 2 out, and the Rays again just trying to get on the board, trailing 2-0. It's been that way since the 3rd, and we're in the 6th. And the Brewers could have made a call to the bullpen, but they've elected to stay with Colin Ray. Gave up 5 runs against the Yankees his last time out. Here's a 1-2. Swinging a fly ball toward left field. Over and back now is Bowers. Got a late break, but able to make the catch as the ball did not have much carry. Just not hit that well. And the Rays do not take advantage of that leadoff error. So we go to the bottom of the 6th here in Milwaukee. It's 2-0 Brewers. This is the Rays Baseball Network.
Sport matching bracelets at Tropicana Field on Sunday, May 12th. The first 5,000 fans, 14 and under, will receive a Rays Friendship Bracelet Kit presented by Valley Sports. Grab your friends. Buy your tickets at RaysBaseball.com. Did you see the sausage race?
I did. I saw that the Vienna sausage won.
Yeah, the Italian.
The Italian won today.
Did you see the speed on the Italian sausage today?
I
Ripping around home plate.
I thought you were going to eat it.
Oh.
There's an 0-1 coming. It's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on William Contreras.
You got to add a little spicy mustard.
And you're all good.
A little kraut, little spicy mustard. Throw it on a bun. You know I'm getting hungry.
Shock. 2 strikes the count.
Well,
William Contreras.
We had to eat early today. Everything was a rush. It was a 12:10 start, local time.
You said you wanted that.
Well, once you get it going, it's good.
As a breaking ball, check swing by Contreras. It's 1-2.
Right? Once the first pitch happens, you're in the flow of the game. Everything's started up. It's real good. But ramping up a little earlier, it throws everything into a little bit of a rush.
1-2 is outside for a ball. 2-2. Doug's saying he's getting old. It's a little harder for him to get moving this time of day. 2 to 3 cups of coffee minimum every morning. And then at lunch, you go to the iced coffee. A lot of caffeine. 2-2. Ground ball weakly hit to third. Charging fielding Meade. He gloves, throws from the grass, and gets Contreras. And there's one gone here in the 6th inning. Again, Rays are down in this one by a 2-0 score. Italian Sausage, by the way, has the most wins on the board this year.
Really?
If you're keeping score, yeah. They said they've had 5. It's a tight race.
Well, who's second?
I didn't take a look at that. I just looked at who the leader of the pack was. It's kind of looking at the top of the standings. I wasn't surveying the full landscape. I'll get an update for you later, though.
You could tell the Italian was just positioning himself very well.
When he pitches in there, a strike for Willie Adames, 0-1.
When he started the race, he wanted the inside track. You could see it. And as he did that, you just know he's savvy. He knew what he was doing.
0-1 is in there for a called strike, 0-2. An experienced race runner. Unlike when the Rays had their own Daniel, who was Jimon Choi's interpreter run, he ended up at the bottom of that race.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh, boy.
2-strike pitch. That's outside and low, 1-2. Aaron Oberle, who is a part of the Rays social media team, is here on this series. He was with the Brewers at one point, and he has run that race plenty of times.
Has he? Any winners?
As the pitch is in there, or a little low for a ball, and it's 2-2. No, I don't know what his record is. I have not asked him. You can go if you want to go check him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find that out. See a little recon.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's outside a ball, and it's full now on Willie Adames.
Would that be considered investigative journalism?
I don't know if I'd call that investigative.
or journalism.
Plus, you don't even know if he's telling the truth. You've got to double-check the facts.
You can't go to Baseball Reference?
3-2 is hit high in the air and fairly deep to center. Back of Rosarena onto the track at the wall, and this ball is gone. A solo home run for Willie Adames, his second of the series against his former team, and the Brewers now have a 3-0 lead.
Well, they were telling us that the ball carries when the dome is open. And you see the way that Randy Arozarena was carrying back on that ball. It just kept drifting and drifting and drifting. And eventually it lands about 5 feet over the center field wall, which is about 400. I mean, he got it really, really well. But I think there was a little bit of carry as well because the roof is open.
Here's Tyler Black. Takes down and in for a ball 1-0. Well, the Rays have given up their fair share of homers. It's 41, which is top 3 in Major League Baseball. And that was hit 104 off the bat. I mean, it was hit square.
Good. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, you're going to hit it that far. It's got to be hit well.
Fifth for Adames as a pitch taken for a strike, and it's 1-1.
And, I mean, that's what Adames wants to do, right? He's a fly ball guy. And I'll tell you, Eflin, looking at his numbers, he's given up a lot more fly balls this year than ground balls. He's under the average, Major League average for ground ball rate.
Little flare toward first is going to fall into right for a base hit for Black. He's going to dig for second. Palacios' throw is into the runner. It hits him and then deflects into shallow left. Black will hold with a hustle double. I don't think Richie expected that Black was going to try and go for 2 there, and when he saw that Palacios was not onto the baseball quickly, he took the extra 90 feet.
Yep, no doubt. I think it caught Palacios off guard. That was just a straight hustle double, and he is busting it out of the box. Black was thinking 2 the entire time, and Palacios gets to it. He does try to get it to second base as quickly as possible. It was actually a really good throw, athletic play from Palacios, but I think you just got to commend Black on just straight hustle out of the box, and he is, again, busting it as quickly as he can at second base.
Brewers have some very explosive athletes on the position player side. We welcome those of you listening at the Rays Watch Party today. We certainly appreciate you being involved in the program today. I know that E. Lindsay Hall was delivering the mail earlier today in Virginia and listens to us on a regular basis. We've got T-Wall from the Rays clubhouse tuning in, and we appreciate that too. Wish the news were better. The Rays are down 3-0 as Kyle Snyder pays his first visit to the mound of the day. And it's been certainly a tough first month for Kyle and company. Now, they are getting closer to getting Taj Bradley back. He has another start in AAA Durham. Shane Boz is about to join AAA Durham on rehab, and the Rays have gotten relatively good news on injured relievers Colin Poche, Pete Fairbanks, and Chris Davinsky as Jeffrey Springs and Drew Rasmussen continue their rehabs. Rhys Hoskins takes a called strike, 0-1, but a lot of pressure on the pitching staff when the guys are not performing on the offensive end. That's 6 hits, by the way, for the Brewers, half for extra bases. Again, they're near the top of the league in that category. 0-1 coming. Swing and a foul off the plate area, and it's 0-2 on the right-hand hitting DH.
Boy, I think we can say it's imperative to try to keep Black from scoring this inning. A 3-run deficit right now going against an A bullpen over with Milwaukee is going to be tough enough, but they start piling on that lead. And you just don't want to see that as a Rays fan.
Hoskins a double in 2 turns. Off second, Black the pitch. In the dirt. Nice stop by Rortfed. It's 1-2. Actually, 6 hits, 4 for extra bases, 3 doubles and a homer for Milwaukee. And again, that's their MO. And for the Rays, they have 4 hits. They've left more on base. They've left 7, but every hit they have is a single. And a couple of those on the infield. So the Brewers just hit more balls with authority. They may miss more, but they're making more happen. The pitch. High pop-up. Shallow center field. Who's got it? Second baseman out, Rosario with Caballero. Second baseman Rosario the call and the catch. And there's 2 out. Everybody went out for that baseball.
Yeah, Rosario.
And nobody was there, even if Black could get as big a lead off second as he wanted there if the ball fell in, because nobody was going to cut in behind him to be able to cover the bag if the ball was caught. Second baseman went out, shortstop went out, center fielder went out. Is Kevin Cash now going out, and he's going to remove Zach Eflin, try and keep this at a 3-run ball game. We'll tell you about the new Rays pitcher when we return. 3-0 Brewers in the 6th. This is the Rays Baseball Network.
Hi, Rays fans. Nick Voinovich, president of Little Greek Fresh Grill here. We have some exciting news. You can now taste our wonderful
New pitcher for the Rays is one Garrett Clevenger. Partial line on Zach Eflin. No walks and 6 strikeouts for Zach. He gave up 6 hits and currently is charged with 3 runs over 5 2/3. 89 pitches for Eflin. He threw 57 for strikes. And Clevenger going lefty on lefty against Jake Bauers here. It's a good slot for Clevenger, who's been much better lately and makes his first appearance of the series.
Clevenger goes out there, 4-seam, slider, sweeper, sinker, and, he can run at 95, 97 miles an hour. Power left-hander. Big strikeout ability.
Been picking him up lately as he kicks and delivers. Slider for a ball outside, just missed in the count 1-0.
Good numbers on the year, 3-0.
Especially lately. The walks, there were plenty of them for him and most Rays relievers the first week or two, but those have disappeared for the most part. And you get Bauers, who has a good eye. And there's a slider that was not chased, and it's quickly 2-0. Bauers had struck out twice against Eflin earlier in the ballgame. But third time up, Eflin removed after nearly 90 pitches. 2-0. That's taken all the way. It's a fastball strike at 94, and it's 2-1. Bauers 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts in this series. So, again, you would appear that you're getting the right matchup. It's a matter of execution. 2-1 after a check at second. Outside, and it's 3-1. Bryce Terang, another lefty's on deck. And I don't think that Ricky Weeks, who's filling in at manager for Pat Murphy, who's serving a 2-game suspension after last night's brawl, is going to make any counter move, because I think you're up 3-0. You want to keep your team defensively if you like it. 3-1. Swinging a little nubber up the third base line. Rolling, foul. As it just went wide of the bag. Right off. A little cue shot by Bauers. It's full.
Yeah, lucky for the Rays that hit the cut of the grass and bounced just foul, because it looked like it was, as you said, cue ball action. A lot of times those can just dance on the foul line, creating a little bit of trouble for the defense.
So Bauers back to home plate. Again, Brewers scoring all 3 of their runs on extra base hits. 2 on a Contreras double in the third with 2 down, and then here in the 6th on a Willy Adames homer. Rays have had runners on base every single inning in this game, but have yet to break through against Colin Ray. And they're going to find a way to win their first series in 2 weeks. They're going to need to score a lot against the Brewers bullpen, as Bauers now calls for and granted time. Clevenger, glove to his chest, angles in. The southpaw at the ready as he gets a sign he likes from Rortvedt. Peaks at second, the payoff. That's a breaking ball low, and Bauers did not offer, and that is ball 4. So in the sequence, I don't think Clevenger threw his breaking ball for a strike. Bauers recognized it and laid off it.
Yep, really good takes by Bauers. Left on left, Clevenger is very deceptive, and a lot of times he'll get swings on those pitches, especially the breaking pitches, if they're competitive out of the hand. But unfortunately, they just were off the plate, and Bauer just picking it up early had nothing to do with him.
Here's Bryce Terang, who's had a good day at the plate. The second baseman swings and chops it foul off his instep and crumbles to the ground, and the count 0-1.
Oh, good job right there getting ahead. 96-mile-an-hour fastball tailing into a left-hander, and Terang takes a hack at it and fouls it directly, I think, off his foot. That could be painful.
Terang had a single and a run scored in the third, and then tried to bunt his way on and was robbed by catcher Ben Rortvedt. That finished up the fourth.
I'm seeing the replay of that. That is, a hard foul ball directly off the big toe.
Yeah, he's got the shin guard, but the shin guard, where the ball hit him, it's unprotected. It's beyond the shin guard.
See, for me as a pitcher, I go right back in there.
Let's see what Garrett Clevenger elects to do. Third base out of the rubber. The southpaw peers at second, 2 on, 2 out. Slider in there on the inside corner for a strike, 0-2, and he had Terang bailing out.
Yep, now you got him open. You can do almost whatever you want here. You can go back fastball inside corner. You can go slider, sweeper inside. You can sweep it off. And you got a lot of options here.
0-2 with 2 on and 2 out. Here it comes from Clevenger. Check swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire, Chris Guccione.
Well, that was a Really nice pitch by Clevenger. That was a slider. Outside corner, good depth to it, and perfectly located. Just a nice take by Turang.
Turang, another well-regarded prospect who's in his second full year in the majors. 1-2. Swinging a ball, lashed foul to the left, out of play. It's still 1-2. You see how much he shortens up on his swing with 2 strikes? I mean, he chokes up about as much as any hitter in the game.
He's old school in the fact that he has a ton of speed, and when he gets to 2 strikes, all he's trying to do is put the ball in play. Utilize his best weapon, which is that speed.
As his feet spread wide apart in a 2-strike situation. You can see a full knob of the bat as the pitch. Slap foul to the left, out of play, and it's still 1-2. I mean, he's got to be choking up, what, a full 4, 5, 6 inches?
Yeah, 4 or 5 inches. He takes away the step. He doesn't step anywhere. When he gets to 2 strikes, he just basically shifts the weight and throws the barrel. Tries to get as quick as possible to the ball.
Again, Clevenger battling after the 2-out walk to Bowers. Runners at first and second. Here it comes. Slider called. Strike 3 at the waist. Had Turang bailing out, and Clevenger does finish off the inning and keep the Rays in striking distance. The Adames homer, though, makes it 3-0 Milwaukee after 6 on the Rays Baseball Network.
The Rays go head-to-head against the Mets, Yankees, Cubs, and more. Tickets start at $10. Secure your seats at RaysBaseball.com. The 2024 season is presented by Orlando Health.
Changes on the mound and in the field for Milwaukee. On the mound is a left-hander, Brian Hudson. Hudson threw 2 impressive innings, scoreless baseball in Game 1 of this series, the game won by the Rays by a 1-0 score. Jake Bowers has moved from left field to first base, and Joey Weimer is now in left field, replacing Tyler Black in the lineup. As Ben Rortvedt takes inside a ball from Hudson 1-0. Colin Ray departs 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 5.
Good job by Colin Ray going out there, just pounding the strike zone, mixing pretty well against these Rays hitters.
As a pitch fouled off to the left by Rortvedt, and the count 1-1. And we mentioned there just wasn't a whole lot of hard contact.
Stayed out of the middle of the plate. You got Brian Hudson coming in. This is their A bullpen. Brian Hudson, a very, very good reliever. 6'8" from the left-handed side. Only throws about 91, 92.
As he deals outside a ball, 2-1. Now, he did throw 2 innings and had 1 day off, and he's given up. The rookie has just 1 run out of the bullpen since they got him from the Dodgers. He was a waiver claim. 2-1.
7 hits on the year.
Fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. Sometimes the league can adjust to you over time. That first month, scouting reports aren't quite there. You haven't been in the big leagues yet. And your arm is feeling really, really fresh. You haven't been through a big league season yet. And they got him in a pretty good matchup here with the lefty Rortvedt to begin the inning. 2-2. That's inside corner, called strike 3. And down on strikes goes Rortvedt. Fastball, and Ben knew it. He's down on strikes looking for the second time.
Yeah, nice 92-mile-an-hour fastball right there. And look, Hudson, that 92 looks more like 95, 96. He's got a 7.4 extension rate. And what that means is he essentially releases a full foot closer to home plate than the average Major League pitcher.
Here's Curtis Mead, number 9 batter. Third baseman takes down and in, breaking ball, and it's 1-0 on Curtis. And you got a righty in Yandy Diaz and then a lefty in Palacios. Again, Rays chasing 3. Looking for their first run. They haven't been shut out this year. It's the pitch. Swinging a foul to the netting. And it's 1-1. In fact, they're one of only 3 teams that hasn't been shut out. The other teams that haven't been shut out, Atlanta and Baltimore. Brewers are one of those teams before the Rays got them in game 1 of this series on Monday. And now Milwaukee trying to turn the favor. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ball, fought off foul to the right, 1-2.
Ryan Pepio did such a good job that first day.
I think again he gained a better appreciation for what he did based on how Milwaukee swung the bat the last 2 days.
Yeah, agreed.
Hudson ready and a 1-2 with 1 out to Mead. Curtis takes a little low for a ball and it's 2-2. Rays had runners on every single inning against Colin Ray, but again, every hit, the 4 they had were singles, who were 2 walks and 2 errors mixed in. Rays 1 hit in 15 trips in this series with runners in scoring position, which really isn't that much pressure. You're getting about 5 chances a game. Heck, last night the Brewers were 3 for 14, so they had constant pressure on the Rays pitching. 2-2. That's a check swing, did not go, and it's full.
Oh, nice little take right there by Curtis Mead. That was a pitch inside corner, and he's actually worked this count very nicely.
Didn't chase the breaking ball out of the strike zone. And now the 3-2 from the 6'8 lefty. Swing and a miss. Chased a slider off the plate there, though, and that's 2 down here in the 7th inning. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Rays Baseball Network. Alongside Doug Wechter, I'm Neil Solantz. Andy Freed on the television side. Derek DuBose in our network studios. Mark Hayes, our engineer in Milwaukee. And Chris Adams-Wall, Becca Carney and company at the Rays Watch Party, Hooters 4th Street in St. Petersburg. Certainly wish the news were better. The Rays are down 3-0 in the 7th to Milwaukee. Yandy Diaz took a ball inside. He's batting with 2 out and nobody on base. DHing today, 0 for 3. The pitch. That's taken inside and it's 2-0.
Boy, I'd love to see Yandy get into one right here. Create any kind of hard contact. It's not that he hasn't gotten a hit since he's been hit on the hand. It's more about just not having any kind of hard contact, right?
Open stance 2-0. He takes bottom of the zone, a little low, actually, and it's 3-0. Richie Palacios, a lefty waiting on deck. Deep breath, the 3-0. Taken all the way, it's a strike, and it's 3-1. Yandy did reach base a couple times on walks and hit by pitches during the course of this series and the previous one, but again, without a hit since he got hit on the finger. 3-1. Swinging a hard hit ball on one hop right to Adames. Barely has to move. Throws to first, and Yandy and the Rays down in order for the first time today in the 7th. So it's time to stretch here in Milwaukee. 3-0 Brewers. This is the Rays Baseball Network.
Moonshine has been reimagined.
And discover a million ways to play in easy vibes in Tampa Bay. Start at visitampabay.com.
Well, we go to the 7th on the home side, and the Rays are down 3-0. Your exploits, by the way, on the slide of Bernie's Chalet are now on display on television.
I still don't know what a chalet is, but whatever.
That's where you were.
That thing is fast.
Oliver Dunn stepping in against Erasmo Ramirez. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Did you try and slow yourself down?
Yes, 100%. I was scared to death when I was up there. Hey, look, Neil. We're on TV.
0-1. Pitch outside of ball, 1-1.
I was scared to death. And that it was not an act. Like 100%. I got up there, and I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal. And you're so high up, you're looking straight down, and you're like, I don't want to do this. But then you also don't want to walk down.
As a pitch outside, and it's 2-1.
The steps were so vertically, like they're so vertical. I think the steps would have been scarier going down. So instead, I was just like, you know what? Let's just go down the slide. That's all I could do.
2-1 is inside from Ramirez, and he's 3-1 on the leadoff batter.
Yeah. So that's my story. You didn't go.
Why would I? I value my life.
Because, man, I figured I'd have a wingman.
3-1 is looped in the air toward right. It's a base hit. Over toward the line to play it in is Palacios. Dunn makes a wide turn, but will hold it first. And there's a leadoff single against Ramirez. For Milwaukee, again up 3-0 here in the 7th. 7th hit for the Brewers. And here's Blake Perkins.
I felt a lot safer when I got to go to the golf simulator.
And you did better there than on Bernie's Chalet, and you didn't get hurt in either.
Yeah,
it's hard to get hurt on a simulator.
My heart rate was a lot lower when I was on St. Andrews playing number 1 at the simulator.
As the pitch lifted in the air the other way toward left, going back is Goodrum, still back onto the track, can't get it, it's off the bottom of the wall. Heading toward third is Dunn. They're going to wave him home as the cutoff throw is not made, and scoring all the way from first is Oliver Dunn, and it's now 4-0 Milwaukee. Nico Goodrum did not come close to hitting the cutoff man. He threw that ball toward third base instead of hitting the shortstop, Jose Caballero. If he hits the cutoff man, they at least stop the runners at second and third.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where Nico Goodrum just tried to get the ball in as quickly as possible to the infield, but not necessarily toward a cutoff man in general. And because of that, it cost them an extra 90 feet and an extra run.
Well, it's now 11 RBIs for the number 9 hitter today, Perkins. That's his first hit of the series in 11 turns. And now back to the top in Sal Frelick, who takes at the knees a strike, 0-1. Well, the Rays missing Chris Davinsky and Colin Poche and Pete Fairbanks. They need some of the guys who are filling in on the roster to be able to do their job and step up, even with the team trailing. That's pitched low for a ball, and it's 1-1. And Erasmo Ramirez making his 4th outing. It's the 2nd of the 4 where he's given up at least a run. In this case, he's eating up innings, though, for the bullpen and preserving some other arms that Kevin Cash wants to use when the team is closer. Next pitch. High, towering pop-up. Shallow right field. Second baseman out. Waiting beneath it, Rosario. Now a couple steps back to make the catch. And back to second, Perkins. One gone here in the Milwaukee 7th.
You know what the scariest part was on that slide?
I don't.
Well, multiple parts, because first of all, you showed me a video that I didn't want to end up like right before going on that slide.
For folks who don't know, David Visay is a sideline reporter for the Dodgers who last year broke his wrist and a rib going down the slide.
And you kindly showed me that 2 seconds before I was walking down there to do it.
If I'd say that, it's a pitch outside of ball
What's
one.
right beforehand?
I'm trying to protect my partner.
Were you? I think you were trying to scare me.
No, I was trying to make sure you took it easy going down that slide. If you decided to go full bore, you were in trouble.
Oh, yes.
It's the pitch.
I would agree with that.
Outside a ball, and it's 2-0.
I think the scariest part was the fact that I had to sign a waiver. Like, you go out there, you're like, all right, this will be fun, whatever. And the guy's like, all right, here's the 2-page waiver that you got to go sign. And, of course, I'm not going to read it.
2-0. Swing and a miss at a ball away from William Contreras, and it's 2-1 on the Milwaukee catcher. He's got 2 of the 4 ribbies for the Brewers.
So I signed my life away to some kind of document that the Brewers handed me. So
At least nothing bad happened. Now everyone's okay. 2-1. That's outside, 3-1. And Tricia Whitaker didn't hurt herself, which
Nope.
she did last year, didn't she? Didn't she kind of bang herself up a little bit? She
got
bruised.
Yeah, she got bruised, but she went down like a pro on this one. I think she did similar to what I did. You don't push. When you push off, that's where the speed gets you.
3-1 is in there for a strike, 3-2.
If you just kind of, drift off, it starts very slow for you. And also, I cheated a little bit. I
Held
put
on the side?
the old tennis shoes,
Good move.
off. Yeah. Yeah, you scared me.
Payoff is weakly grounded foul to a third, and it's still 3-2.
But I can always say I went down Bernie's chalet slide.
Yeah, you did it.
Well,
Doesn't matter how fast you went down. You don't get a time when you come across the finish line.
I finally did it because I was like, look, this mascot goes down multiple times a day.
Yeah,
sometimes.
they're padded. They have the padded costume, though.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Payoff.
I got extra padding.
Outside ball 4, and Contreras draws a walk from Erasmo Ramirez.
With all the deep dish pizzas and the,
And the brats you had on this trip? Yeah, you were a little padded,
extra,
too.
Extra padded.
All right. 2 on and 1 out for Milwaukee, a run home. Willie Adames has already homered today and yesterday. And he steps in with his team already up by a 4-0 score. Really can put this one out of reach. Brewers have 2 relievers getting loose. I think it depends on the score as the pitch is a strike, 0-1. Yoel Payamps and Abner Uribe are the 2 relievers. I think Payamps, if this is still 4-0, maybe Uribe if it gets more lopsided, as the pitch is hit high in the air toward right center with some carry. Rosarena back onto the track, leaps, and it's gone! Just over the 8-foot-high wall is Willie Adames, his second homer of the day. He's driven in 4, and it's a touchdown lead for the Brewers. It's 7-0.
Well, back-to-back home runs now for Willie Adames. This one barely getting over the wall. I think it might have touched the top of the fence, but either way, it's going to count. It's going to count for 3. And, just seeing the ball pretty well right now, he is definitely a big home run threat. We always knew he was a home run threat. And you see it. What was the stat line? That he has the most home runs out of any shortstop in the last, 3 years? Is that right, Neil?
4 years, since
4
21.
years. 4 years. And, I mean, look, this ball just – it carried out. And at a certain point, you thought Randy had a chance, but ended up just getting over the wall and putting up another crooked number for the Brewers.
Joey Weimer takes a strike, his first at-bat of the day. I guess we're going to see Uribe now. Hopefully he's calmed down from yesterday. 0-1 is on the outside corner, 0-2. Or I'm going to have to send Doug Wechter down there to help take care of him.
Yeah, it's going to take me a while to get down there, though.
You're going to take
I
your
can't
time?
take a slide. Well, I just can't take the slide. I'm not used to it.
I'll give you I'll let you get a head start as the pitch is hit in the air off the hands towards shallow left. Back now in is Goodrun. He'll reach down, make the catch thigh high for the second out of the inning.
At this point in time, they're just looking for Erasmo to get as many outs as possible. Just save the arms in the bullpen. Go as deep as you can. Try to finish this game for the Rays.
Rhys Hoskins steps in, DH with 2 out. Brewers did what they've done a lot. They're scoring runs on the home run ball and the extra base hit. Every single one of their runs has scored on an extra base hit today, and the Rays don't have an extra base hit. And I hate to say it, but that's today's game. As the pitch is low for a ball 1-0. And the Rays have guys who can collect extra base hits. Guys like Yandy Diaz and Randy Rosarena did it regularly last year. They're just not doing it right now.
It's just one of those things. This
pitch is a strike, and it's 1-1.
This season's been very frustrating. Very, very frustrating for some of the top guys, right? And I think Randy's right up at the top of that. There's just multiple things that they're struggling with, and hopefully, again, it's just the first part of the year, and they're able to move on because those guys are needed. And this lineup, it looks totally different when you got a Yandy Diaz and a Randy Rosarena hitting the ball well.
There's a trickle-down effect for sure as Hoskins takes strike 2. 1-2 coming from Erasmo Ramirez. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Down goes Hoskins, and that ends the Brewers' 7th. But they put 4 runs up, 3 on the Adames homer, and lead 7-0 after 7 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us
obviously, or he wouldn't be out there right now. And he has the 8th inning against Richie, Palacios, Randy Arozarena, and Ahmed Rosario. It was Uribe who was going to cover first on a ground ball hit by Jose Siri. And after touching first, he almost waited for Jose to come toward the bag and had something to say. And it looked like Jose said something back. And all of a sudden, the bench is cleared. Uribe had almost like an open slap toward Siri as he delivers way high. A fastball at 98, 1-0.
Oh, it was an open hand slap. It did not look like a, I don't know what you call it. I guess you could call it a slap.
Doug was pretty fired up in the booth. I had to hold him back.
Well, I couldn't believe he was doing it, first of all.
1-0, he's a cue shot foul toward third, and Palacios checking his bat. I think he broke it on the off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. I can't remember the last time I had to actually hold you back physically.
Hold me back, Nielsy.
Not now.
So I just got back.
If you want to go after Abner Uribe right now, I'm okay with it.
Just got back to the booth a little late. Watching Uribe go out there, you think this is a move knowing that there's a suspension coming?
Well, he may, even if, he could have started serving suspension today.
Right, but you think they're going to try to get a couple innings out of him.
No, he's going to appeal.
And then, of course.
Because I think when you're suspended, they can't replace you as the pitch. Check swing on a slider, he went on appeal, and it's 1-2.
So how long does the appeal process take? It's only a day or so, right?
It depends when New York hears it. It depends on their schedule. So whenever they hear it, then you find out if it's reduced or not. Then you decide, okay, because you have multiple players suspended. Him and Freddie Peralta, as the pitch is lined toward right, over and in toward the line is Frelick, and it drops in off the end of Palacios' bat for a base hit. Richie with a single to right, and he's really one of the few guys for the Rays who's getting on base. 2 for 3 now with a walk.
Yep. He's doing it consistently, and a couple things I like about his approach is that early in the count, when he doesn't have a strike on him, or if he only has one strike on him, he goes after it. He tries to do damage. But late in the count, he can dial down that swing a little bit, and he can just look for more contact.
Got a breaking ball there. Didn't hit it hard. It was 77 off the bat. Again, the Rays are just not really barreling up many baseballs. As Randy Arozarena, probably one of the guys who's right at the top of that list, takes outside a ball, and it's 1-0. 99 from Uribe, who began the year closing a couple games and then gave up 5 runs in a weekend appearance against the Yankees. Trying to get himself righted. When he's right, you throw a 99 with strikes and a good breaking ball, you're tough. Pitch. That's A little low, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, stuff-wise, this guy is off the charts. And you go out there sitting 98 to 100 miles an hour, nice easy arm action, slider coming off of that, but doesn't have a ton of command. And when you get into hitters' counts, they can dial into 99.
2-0. Taken all the way, 3-0 as it misses low. So, yeah, Uribe's got a 6-game suspension. Freddie Peralta, a starter, a 5. I mean, if you kind of tinker with your rotation around off days, he could miss the 5 games, serve the suspension, and not miss a start. 3-0, taken all the way. It's ball 4, and Rosarena, who's had a tough time getting on base, goes to first in the easiest way possible. A single and a walk to begin this 8th for Tampa Bay, down 7-0.
Well, Uribe not helping himself right now. Base hit, now a walk.
Chris Hook, the pitching coach, goes out to have a word. I still think that would be the best name for a manager.
Hook? That's a good one. Yeah, I agree.
I
liked, you know what? So I liked Hoover for catcher. Paul, when we had him in the organization, of course. He was my catcher for a while. I thought that was one of the better catcher's names, Paul Hoover.
Better be a vacuum behind the
Got
plate.
to, right? I thought that was great.
I mean, to be a manager and be named Hook and having to make calls to the bullpen, I mean, what gets better than having to give a guy the hook?
Yeah.
For a broadcaster, it's just an ideal world.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah.
There's some good names like that. Ball 4, right?
That's not a good name.
That's not a good. Well,
that's
it's
the name that gets you in trouble.
Yeah,
Grant
I like
would be the
Grant.
first to say.
Grant's a good dude.
Yes. 2 on, none out. Meeting of the mound complete. Ahmed Rosario will try and get the Rays again on the board. He's 0 for 3 today, 0 for 7 in the series, and in a 3 for 26. So I think he, like a lot of the Rays, are just looking for something positive here to get them going. Right on right, Uribe delivers. Taken all the way, it's a slider in the dirt for ball 1. That's 5 straight out of the strike zone, or as Bob Uecker would say. First it was ball 4, and then hopefully it's ball 8, and then ball 12. Just about
guys are laying up pitches this close. So great.
Oh, so nice to see him yesterday as the 1-0. Outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. And that gets a Bronx cheer here in Milwaukee. It's amazing to me, A, how deadpan his humor is.
Yep.
And how he can do it without even smiling. I mean, when you say deadpan, he doesn't flinch.
He was
outside, way outside. It's 2-1.
So he's 90 years old. He sat with us for 15 minutes, and he was on the entire time. As great as you can imagine him being, that's how he was. And, he has the same energy. He was everything I hoped for when you meet him, right?
No question about that. As Uribe deals 2-1. Swinging a chopper over the mound to second. Terang has it, flips to second. One relay is not in time. Give Rosario credit for hustling in a 7-0 game. For the time being, that's a 4-6 fielder's choice. We'll see if the Brewers do want a review, but I think that was the right call.
I couldn't wait to talk to him about Major League. The Johnny Carson stuff was great because the day before, we got lucky because we were in the elevator the first day with him.
And yesterday.
And yesterday. And it was interesting because we were trying to catch a bus, and we were like, well, why are we waiting? We got to get moving a little bit here. And didn't want to be rude to the security guard, so we didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, Uke steps in. We're like, oh, I can wait all night for this. This is great.
No replay, by the way. So men at the corner is 1 out. Rays looking to just get on the board as Austin Shenton steps in against the velocity of Uribe. And the pitch. That's a fastball strike, 0-1 at 99.
He was great the first day in the elevator. And, we mentioned that, hey, would it be okay if we pop over there at some point this series? He was more than welcoming. And just so great. But I couldn't wait to talk to him about Major League and finding out that all those lines were pretty much his.
As the pitch fouled off to the netting, and it's 0-2. And the beauty is when he was in the Carson show, Johnny Carson show, the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, he told us that at the beginning, they had some stuff kind of set up, but after that, they basically said, hey, do you want to do what you want? And he basically played off Johnny Carson.
Yeah. And who's Johnny Carson's?
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, okay. So how about after the first show when he told us that he heard.
As a breaking ball in the dirt gets by Contreras to the screen, and the Rays at least have averted the shutout. Is scoring from third Palacios. Now a 7-1 game as Rosario up to second. See if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball.
So how about when he overheard Johnny Carson ask Ed McMahon after the very first show he did that guy really play baseball?
And he became Mr. Baseball on The Tonight Show.
How funny is that?
And for a lot of hearts and minds, he became Mr. Baseball, period.
Did that guy really play baseball?
Love and passion certainly there. 1-2 now on Shenton. Inside. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Haven't seen an official call. A wild pitch is what they're scoring. So a wild pitch scores the first run of the day for the Rays. And again, still 5 outs left in their bank account, but down by 6, 7-1. Uribe to Austin Shenton. That's outside and low, and it's now gone full.
How about the car he drives? What is it? Is it a Corvette? It's like a very low sports car. I don't know what it was. It looked like a Corvette. Something. It looked like a Batmobile.
Still has some style and some flair as the pitch. Swung on, foul to the netting, and it's still full.
And he still has one of the strongest grips. How about that grip on the handshake?
Doesn't feel like a 90-year-old in terms of his spirit and his love for the game and just his sense of humor. 3-2 on Shenton, again looking to get a hit in this series, his first. Uribe looks back at second, and now the payoff coming from the big righty. That's low, ball 4, and there's the second walk of the inning. So there's ball 8.
Yeah. Well, this is what Uribe brings you. I mean, a lot of stuff, but he's got almost a 7 ERA when he's got a 7.24 ERA now on the year, and the reason for that is just command. He can't throw it over the plate, and by not commanding it, it doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Nico Goodrum steps in, 0 for 3 with a ground out, fly out, and strikeout. Again, Rays on the board with just 1 hit in the inning, and they've got 2 on. And here's a slider inside for a ball, 1-0, and here goes action in the Brewers bullpen. So I don't think they wanted to go deeper into their pen, but they might have to get someone of their leverage group because Uribe is making it that way. 1-0. That's low, and it's 2-0. Yoel Payamps, who's yet to pitch in the series, is getting loose. And let's just say the folks here in Milwaukee is for the land. The people in this land are a little restless.
As nice as they are here.
And they are extremely nice.
They are. The great folks here of Milwaukee. Get a little fed up with the pitcher.
2-0 is dribbled up the first base line, foul. Uribe was hoping it would come back into fair territory, and it's 2-1 on Goodrum. They are so nice. How nice are they? They're so nice that one of the guy, Kevin, who runs the elevator, brought his own treats that he gives to some of the people who work here, like the full-time staff.
Really?
Yes, he had I think it was some chocolates and some cookies, and he had stuff for Bob Uecker when he came in too. I mean, crazy. They're taking care of them. These guys are like the part-time retired folks who are working in the elevator. Is it 2-1? Is weakly grounded back to the mound. Uribe has it. He fires to second. That's the only out they'll get. And fortunately for Willie Adames, he was able to make the play, and the throw was a little low, and there's 2 down. And then there was a return throw to first. I think there was a question whether Goodrum actually touched the bag, and the Brewers are going to say, hold on a second, do we want to replay this? I can't imagine that Goodrum would have missed the bag going through, but if he did, boy, that would be some kind of faux pas.
That would be. Either way, he gets the out. Fielder's choice. Uribe making a decent play there at second base. They're still trying to figure out if they're going to replay this.
You only get 15 seconds here, and there will not be any review as Jose Caballero steps in. So the play goes 1-6.
So he was giving away cookies?
He wasn't giving them away. He had them specifically wrapped for certain people.
Oh, so I couldn't have gotten one?
No. I mean, unless you were asked really nicely.
Well, I'm a nice guy, Neil.
Caballero 2 out of 3 with a couple infield hits. Takes way high for a ball 1-0. I don't know about you, but I got a feeling if Caballero were to reach, we might see Mr. Payamps come on.
Yeah, I agree.
If ever you're going to run into a ball to make this a ball game, this would be the time. Still would be a long way out. Would only make it a 3-run affair as a ground ball hit to third, backing up and fielding and setting his feet and throwing low to first, but digging it out is Bowers. Not a great throw from Oliver Dunn, but it's been that kind of day for the Rays. Just nothing wants to work. Rays do get a run and trail 7-1 mid-8 here in Milwaukee on the Rays Baseball Network.
Hard AF Seltzer is now with the Tampa
Right now, hoping Erasmo Ramirez can just eat up this inning against Jake Bowers. Again, raised down 6 as Bowers lifts it off to the third base side. Need a long run to the stands, but it'll find the seats. Back at the tarp, and the count 0-1.
Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, T-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Rays at MLBshop.com.
By the way, I know you had trouble with the word chalet.
Yeah, I did.
From Bernie Chalet.
Yeah. What is it?
Chris Miller, who, of course, is a Wisconsin
Did you call
native, as a foul off to the right, 0-2. Made sure to text us. He's listening carefully and intently. And he texted us the definition of chalet, also called a Swiss chalet, is a type of building or house as the pitch. Swinging a little number past the mound is short. Handled by Caballero to the first base side of second. The throw gets Bowers and 1 gone here in the 8th. And he said it is a building or house typical of the Alpine region in Europe, made of wood with a heavy, gently sloping roof and wide, well-supported eaves set at right angles in front of the house, which is exactly what you have up there.
That is.
The angles of the little roof.
Yeah. Now, does every chalet have a slide?
No. It's Bernie the Brewer who's got his slide. He does that after home runs. He goes down the slide and after victories. As the pitch is low for a ball to left-hand batter Bryce Terang, and it's 1-0. And unfortunately, the Rays have seen him go down the slide twice today, and it may be a third time unless there's some amazing rally in the 9th.
Do you know what Bernie used to slide into originally?
As the pitch popped up into shallow center, Randy Arozarena beat on it, makes the play, and there's 2 down. Why don't you tell our audience?
I learned this yesterday on the slide. He used to originally slide into a large beer. Did you know that?
But now?
Now you just slide into whatever landing pad I landed in yesterday.
That would be kind of messy to slide into beer constantly.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming it's,
It might slow you down on the slide, though. 2 out in the 8th inning, and Erasmo trying to get a 1-2-3 frame. He deals inside to Oliver Dunn, 1-0.
Bernie looks really comfortable up there. I don't know why. Like, if you go up there, it is not comfortable.
Well, you should, if you're doing it every day, I guess you get more comfortable as you go.
I wouldn't even go to the railing. Like, I wouldn't put my hands on the railing. I felt like I had to hold on to the chalet.
Pitch outside of ball 2. Some guys are afraid to pitch, and position players, but if they have to do it enough, I guess they feel more comfortable.
No, I don't want to go back up there.
Okay. Well, we're not here for another 2 years, as a 2-0 is in there, a strike, 2-1. And I'll remind you of this in 2 years if you're on that trip. Just when you say, I can't believe I did it again.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that again. I'll hit the golf simulator.
All right.
And I'll eat the sausage I had yesterday.
2-1 is swung and a miss, and it's 2-2.
They have something called the North Dog. They're the dog of the North. One or the other. It's got like all these special sauces. It's got like apple slaw. Have you ever even heard of that?
Apple slaw? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Man, all the food here is, of course, so good.
2-2 is way inside with the cutter, and it's 3-2. We've enjoyed our time in Milwaukee other than the outcomes the last 2 days. Obviously, the highlight being the time spent with Bob Uecker yesterday. 3-2. That's called outside, ball 4. Ben Rortvedt said, hey, come on, can't we get that one? That's a ball or 2 off the plate, and that's a 2-out base runner.
So Uecker does all the home games, from what I understand.
Most of them. He took today off, which made it especially important that we were able to spend time with him yesterday, because if we were planning on doing it today, it would have been hard to do. We would have come to the ballpark and went, oh, he's not here. But we kind of looked ahead as the pitch dropped by Rortvedt, but it's a ball anyway, and it's 1-0 on Blake Perkins, number 9 batter. We picked our spot.
He had a nice setup, by the way. His booth.
Ours is pretty, for a visiting radio booth,
yeah,
this is probably one of the larger ones and better views that you're going to have in Major League Baseball. It's almost directly behind the plate.
Yeah, agreed.
And at a pretty low angle as the pitch swung on and missed on a ball upstairs, and it's 1-1. I mean, it's not quite what he had as Harry Doyle in Major League, but it's pretty good.
One of the best characters of a baseball movie ever.
as a pitch outside a ball, and it's 2-1. The beauty is he basically had almost carte blanche. And I think the other thing that's great is there's a documentary they're working on him, which I think the hope is going to be released later this year. As a pitch grounded the other way toward the hole, it's short, backhanded by Caballero. A little stutter step and throw to first is late, and Perkins beats the play. It probably goes as a hit, but Caballero had a little trouble getting that out of his mitt, and the one area where he has had a tougher time is backhands.
Yeah, I mean, he's positioned, he's shifted almost totally behind second base, so everything to his right is going to be a backhand. Everything to the shortstop position. That was more of a typical ground ball where a shortstop would be playing. He had to go backhand on it, and it was a tough play. I mean, you got a fast base runner, and I'm sure it will go down as a hit.
The loss in the transfer cost him as Sal Frelick lines one softly foul off the sidewall, and it's 0-1. Nothing in one on Frelick. Again, Rays are down 7-1. They do avoid being shut out today, but I think that's little solace as they're 3 outs away from a 1-5 trip. 0-1 the count, 2 on, 2 out as Ramirez trying to put up a 0. Popped up foul, third base side out of play, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Bob had a lot of carte blanche on a lot of things, and again, his life story. It's amazing how positive he is. With all the health issues he had over the years, at 90 years of age, he also lost a child as an adult, too. So, I mean, that's a lot on a person as a ground ball hit toward first. Two-hopper handled by Shetton. He'll race to the base, retire Frelick, and end the 8th inning for Erasmo Ramirez and the Rays. It's a scoreless frame, but it's all Brewers. 7-1 after 8 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Hey Rays fans, looking for a treat that's a home run? Slide into one of the Dippin' Dots locations throughout Tropicana Field. Grab a cup of your favorite game day treat and try a new flavor and taste the fun with Dippin' Dots. Posting photos of your favorite ice cream treat? Be sure to tag Dippin' Dots on social media. And don't forget, you can taste the fun every day at dippindots.com.
I want my Dippin' Dots.
This copyright broadcast is presented by authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Fourth pitcher of the day from Milwaukee is Thiago Vieira, and I'm guessing if Bob Uecker were broadcasting today, he would probably have an interesting story right now to tell. Vieira came to the mound, and the umpires checked him, and they confiscated his bright blue glove. So the question is, was there something in the glove? They didn't toss him from the game. So obviously whatever they found, they didn't find it to be so objectionable that they would remove him. So he now has a tan glove. And
It's not
Vieira
the color. It wouldn't be the color. It had nothing to do with the color. Right?
The other glove is in the dugout, and I guess Chris Guccione, the third base umpire and crew chief, is having a discussion with the Milwaukee dugout as to the whys and wherefores of this. Vieira, meanwhile, he was, and I did ask about this today, because I don't know if you saw his celebration after an 8-2 Milwaukee win last night.
I did.
I mean, it was pretty
like he was winning Game 7?
Yeah, but I'm told he does that in any game, no matter when he finishes an inning. He could be down 6 or up 6. It doesn't matter. That's what he does. That's his thing. So, okay. I mean,
interesting.
He's true to his personality. Some guys need to pitch almost angry. I don't need to broadcast angry. I just like hanging out with Doug as Ben Rortvedt steps in.
You're nice, Nielsen.
As he takes low for a ball and it's 1-0. I'm hoping the Rays are angry, but I don't know if that's going to get him 7 runs at this point in time. He got 8, 9, and 1 as Ben gets his final at bat. Probably here in Wisconsin, and swings and misses, going to one knee to try and get a fastball dug out at 96, and it's 1-1. His mom, Kim, again, it's her birthday today. Now, Ben does have 1 hit, but he's also struck out twice and is 1 for the series. And there's a lot of Rays who can say that here in Milwaukee. Vieira fires way outside, and it's 2-1.
Boy, Vieira, another guy with just power stuff coming out of this bullpen.
Uribe, 2 walks, a run, a wild pitch, 1 single, 1 strikeout in his 1 inning. Rays have drawn 4 walks today, and they have 5 hits as Contreras will go out to the mound to have a word. But they just haven't been able to get an extra base hit. The Brewers have done all their damage with extra base hits today. 2 homers by Adames, numbers 5 and 6 to drive in 4 runs. 2-run double by Contreras, and there was a double by the number 9 hitter Perkins, and that's accounted for all the runs that the Brewers have scored. The Rays scored a run on a wild pitch. They do not have an extra base hit today. The pitch, swinging a hard hit, ball caught at first by Jake Bauers. That might be the hardest hit baseball of the day for the Rays, and unfortunately for Rortvedt, it ends up in a Milwaukee glove and 1 gone here in the 9th.
Yeah, 103 off the bat. Rortvedt doing a really good job of showing those quick hands. That's a fastball coming in at 96 miles an hour, inside corner, turns on it, but unfortunately right into the glove of Bauers.
There's Curtis Mead, number 9 batter. 2 strikeouts, a flyout. He swings and weakly grounds it to third. Easy play, and the throw on to first is in time from Oliver Dunn. And just like that, the Rays are down to their final out. You know, the Rays went to a hotel here in Milwaukee that been open since 1893, and there's always been talk that there are ghosts there. I was hoping for some paranormal activity, or we get the Rays on a nice little run here to start May, but unfortunately it looks like May is going to begin as April ended. Yandy Diaz, the Rays' last hope. 0 for 4, he takes a ball.
Neil, I think it's a good time for an off day. I think it's perfectly time for an off day. After this trip, after the month of April, you know, it'd be good for guys to get away from it for a day, kind of flush it out, and see if we can start the homestand strong.
The ground ball foul off the plate, 1-1. This group certainly needs to start playing, doesn't matter where it is, good baseball. 7-1, Brewers up with 2 out here in the 9th inning. And it's been all Milwaukee since a 2-run third. They opened it up with 1 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th. Next one. Swinging a foul off to the right, and it's 1-2, and now the Rays down to their final strike. Yandy Diaz, a batting champ a year ago, has had all kinds of struggles his first month and change. Just grinding here. The pitch, swinging a ground ball to short, should end it. Handled by Adames, waist high hop, takes his time, throws to first, and the Rays have dropped 2 of 3 here in Milwaukee. And they'll end this road trip at 1-5. Tampa Bay starts May. Unfortunately, they went the way they ended April, with a resounding 7-1 defeat at the hands of the Brewers. Rays now 4 under 500 for the first time this year at 14-18. We'll come back, wrap it up right after this on the Rays Baseball Network.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic, That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.